and towards Troy.
Yeah, Jamie was just pointing out here, Chris, that on the radar it almost looks like that cell is creating its own outflow, which then would enhance more development as it pushes east.
It's definitely trying to rotate and pivot, so and you may lose us here briefly as we go into this depressed section here that always floods in East St. Louis, but as we come back out, you'll have a look at it. And this is just, and I can't see what you guys are putting on the air right now, but I think if you're double boxing and you've got radar on one side and my camera on the other, it's the area between, you're looking up towards Venice and Granite City and then up towards the Mitchell area. Again, we're not seeing anything that is notably trying to come down to the ground, but that's an area of interest for sure because the broad scale of this thing is trying to hook around a little bit. So the area, we're coming up on the raceway, just past and over, just north of the raceway, from Granite City up towards Mitchell and Interstate 270. That's definitely the part of the storm that we're watching pretty carefully right now.
I think to a lot of untrained eyes that you would see some of these scud clouds or finger clouds that you're showing in your picture. People would say, look, there's the tornado. We'll get 47 pictures from our viewers saying, you know, I can see it. It's right over the raceway right there. But that essentially is just some inflow into the storm, moisture or winds that are flowing into the storm, kind of updraft or indraft or inflow that's kind of creating that cloud-like structure.
Yeah, that appears to be more scud than anything else. The dark, scary cloud, as we like to call it. But it is, admittedly, in an area that, especially to the right, we need to watch pretty carefully because I just looking at the air mass over here in the wind direction, the outflow boundary may be trying to lift back to the north into that region. And as we come out from behind the trees, that's the place to watch. Again, there's nothing imminent. I'm not seeing holy cow, there's a funnel cloud, but there is at least the rather large lowering, kind of a de facto wall cloud that's up in that area. And it's moving towards Granite City and Namioki. And then on north towards Interstate there in central Madison County. We're just sort of in a bad sight line now.
Yeah, we're getting you in a bad sight line and a bad cell line too. So Chris, we'll let you get into a little better position. Weather Service continues to monitor this, the whole area where Chris was just showing you live, and that's the zone where potential rotation continues. Let's call it evolve right now. There's nothing super imminent. There's nothing that we're seeing by any of our scans that shows a real deepening of the rotation. A couple of little minor spots here or there, but nothing that gives us any indication that that a tornado is imminent. But this is a structure of a cell that is really familiar to all of us here at Fox 2 when we watch tornadoes, and we literally watch tornadoes all over the country. When there's one in Kansas, we'll go and dissect it on the Doppler radar. But these are cells that we see start to evolve into rotating systems, especially when you see a couple of things happening. And the one thing that Jamie and I have been watching is this inflow right here. It's right in through there. You can see how that is feeding into the heart of the warned storm. If this continues to feed into it, that could eventually create more rotation, could create eventually a funnel or a tornado. Again, nothing imminent, but just that radar structure, Jamie, really something that we've seen quite a bit of here just through all of our years of watching Doppler radars.
Yeah, and another thing, we just heard the torrential rain overhead the Fox 2 studios. You can see right behind that storm that we're watching with the warning on it is another pretty heavy area of rain and storms. And then
Hey guys, Glover here. We're just going to play a little station ID, and then DGS will take over for the afternoon.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Sandberg Phoenix serves your business in litigation, intellectual property, and products liability. We're more than a law firm. We're committed to your success. Learn more at sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Good afternoon, DGS on KMOX, a few minutes past 1 p.m. So it's going to get weird. It's just going to be a weird day here on KMOX, but we are here for you. Dave Murray is not only with us right now, but he's pretty much with us until, this weather event is over, whether it's 5 p.m. or 10 p.m., whatever it is. Michael Calhoun's on his way in. He's going to be taking over the weather desk with Dave if things get kind of nasty. So, Dave, let's just start where you left off with Megan. And for people who are just now tuning in, let them know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm with you forever. We know that.
That's right. Forever.
How nice.
Now, let's talk. There's two things I want to talk about. Actually, there's many, but the two initial things, the tornado warning for anywhere in Missouri has been canceled. That's been dropped. The storm has moved basically into Madison County in Illinois. There is no indication of any rotation on the ground as far as funnels, as tornadoes. There are indications of some straight line winds starting to kind of continue with this batch of thunderstorms. Also some indications that it may be falling apart just a little bit. But the strongest activity is just either to the east of 3 or just along 3, especially Naomki, and up to about 270. That's probably the strongest part. But I'm not seeing any classic identifier as far as a tornado is concerned. And that's starting to really zip now and tend to fall apart just a little bit to the east at about 40 miles per hour. And I do think that tornado watch is going to come down pretty quickly now. It only really has about 5 minutes left. Now, in behind that, there's a little bit of a gap. And then there's another batch of mainly heavy rain. I'm not even seeing a lot of lightning with it, but there's got to be some lightning. But it's mainly a real heavy rain producer from about University City up to about Ferguson. And let's take it just to the east of the airport, though it's raining at the airport right now. And then that kind of bends over to about Wood River. That also appears to be losing a little bit of a strength issue here. And then there's some other stuff way out to the west. This is all part of part 1 of this storm system, part 1 that has been lingering for a long time. It really, in most cases, probably should have fallen apart by now, but it hasn't. Now we wait to see what happens to part 1. Is it going to collapse? Is it going to send a boundary line out, which it is, because I see the boundary already. And then what happens to that boundary? Does it stay stationary to our south, or does it start to lift back to the north in this very juicy air mass that is to our south? Places that haven't seen any rain or thunderstorms yet, it is really prime. Sullivan, Festus, Farmington, Pinckneyville, Mount Vernon. That's where this clean air is that has not been contaminated by thunderstorms. Now, exactly where this boundary is going to form and fire up later on this afternoon, that's the million-dollar question. I don't have a good answer for it. I don't think anybody does, because we've got to let part 1 kind of play itself out, though I do think that it's falling apart on us. Part 2 will start to develop as we get into the mid to late afternoon hours. I still like the time frame for part 2 of 3 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon up to about 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening. It's not going to be storming that whole time, but that's the window of opportunity for redevelopment as far as part 2 is concerned. And as we've been stressing, not everybody is going to see severe weather. This is not a gigantic outbreak that you probably have heard over the days that that's what it was going to be. That doesn't happen much here in the St. Louis area. So yes, there could be tornadoes. Yes, there could be large hail, damaging winds, straight line winds, a lot of lightning, some areas of flooding because of the downpours of rain associated with this. But I just want everybody to be alert, pay attention to what we're doing here, pay attention to the sky. But this is not, just not everybody's going to get a tornado out of this.
So, Dave, a couple of questions for people like me who like their weather radar on their phone, and you can see it coming in and stuff.
Yep.
When you expand, you don't see another storm coming. Is it just something that's going to create and pop up here in the area, like right on top of us?
Yeah, I'm not convinced it's going to pop up right on top of us. But if if you got your radar on your phone and you see the stuff that we're talking about now, especially in Illinois, and then you get to the west around O'Fallon, down to about Union, and then out to about Herman, that's part one. That stuff really has to kind of fall apart before part two gets going. And then a little impulse is going to move along that boundary and a Pacific cold front moves in. That's the real trigger for this. And that's what we're going to be watching as we go through the afternoon. We're in this nowcast. I've always kind of called it nowcast of it's not forecasting anymore. This is minute by minute. Here's what's going on. Here's what we're looking at. And here's where the development could be. I'm really concerned about Southeast Missouri and Southern Illinois as we get into the late afternoon and evening hours. So we're going to be on the edge of this real development. But the clean air, the virgin air, so to speak, is Southeast Missouri and Southern Illinois that hasn't seen anything at all. Temperatures are in the 80s. The sun is out. And that's also the key for the St. Louis area. The more clouds we have, the calmer the atmosphere will be as far as refiring. Some sun starts to pop out as we go through the afternoon. That's the clue that the atmosphere is going to try to turn over very quickly.
Dave, as you know, schools are closing, and
Yep.
I've not seen school. I guess maybe they have, but I've never seen schools close because of something that may be here in a few hours. But and I know that it's more important to talk about the weather than to talk about people who cover the weather. But I think we're all interested and a little freaked out. Are the school closings, in your opinion, sort of the hype of the whole thing, or are you on board with that?
I'm kind of okay with cancellations and sporting events, things like that, as we go into the afternoon and into the evening, only because you don't want to get kids on a school bus, our kids at a bus stop, our families trying to say, okay, where are you and how are we going to get you home and all this kind of stuff. I think it's good to be aware of that. I do think that most of this redevelopment that takes place is going to be after school lets out. Now there's after school stuff, there's sporting events and all that things. That's a whole different angle of this. I would not recommend a baseball game tonight, a soccer game, anything like that.
So, Dave, here's a good example. Tyler on the stream says that he'll be driving back from Illinois in a box truck at about 5 p.m. hitting the Mississippi, and he's afraid of tipping over. For people like Tyler, or even people like us, we're going to get out of here about 4:40 today because of Cardinal baseball. Should we be thinking about hunkering down?
We need to think about just staying alert and paying attention. Do you have to go into the cave? No, not at this point. Again, let's let part one play itself out. If you're on the highway, I'm not quite sure where he's coming in from Illinois, coming towards the St. Louis area. But if you see the big dark cloud or you're in heavy thunderstorm rains, be aware that there could be some straight line winds that you have to deal with. But right now, it is not a widespread event. We have to wait and see later on this afternoon if it does develop into that. And again, I think where it's really going to develop is St. Louis down through Southeast Missouri and Southern Illinois, especially Southeast Missouri and Southern Illinois. I think that's going to be the real fire-up zone.
And Dave, one more nerd thing about this, because not only was it prevalent on every local news forecast over the weekend, it was prevalent on like CNN. They just, kept showing St. Louis like with a target on it. What is it about this specific, the ingredients of what's going on that makes it so scary?
Well, as far as long range, the ingredients were that you have a very moist, juicy flow from the south, that you would have sunshine out, and then you have a Pacific cold front moving in. So the setup is pretty good. We get into what we call a triple point of where the warm air and the cold air is and the circulation of the low pressure system. The low pressure system is up in Iowa. So we're going to be really dealing with the warm front and the cold front, especially the cold front later on today. So the overall situation was, okay, this is a prime area, but we really have to think about the kind of information that everybody seems to tend to toss out. And it's not the end of the world. It's not Armageddon. and that's why I stress that this becomes, especially thunderstorm forecasting, is a very short-term forecast. It's not a long-term. Now we can say, hey, you know what, the conditions look pretty good long-term, but to do it 3, 4, 5, 6, even 7 days out, that this is the end of the world or going to be the end of the world, it's not right. It's just not right.
So, Dave, let's let people know what's going to go on during the DGS and do a little radio producing live in front of them. As I understand it, right now, St. Louis back west is okay. People to the east, keep your head on a swivel, maybe hunker down over on the east side where I grew up. How about if we check in with you at the top of each hour, and then if we need you, we'll jump on together if something develops?
It works for me.
Perfect. Okay, Rachel, you want me to do this for you?
Yes, please.
All right, great. So, folks, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead with DGS like DGS always is. We will definitely, and just so you know, we have people behind the scenes. We have Beth, we have Steve, we have Megan, we have Maria Kina, we have Michael Calhoun, we have Dave Murray. Everyone is on this. If there's anything from within the viewing area from the east side out west, we're going to get it to you. And other than that, we'll go ahead and try to do an informative, entertaining show. That'll be first for the DGS. And then at the top of each hour leading up to Dave Murray 3:30, we will check in with Dave. Tell you guys right now about Universal Windows Direct. Didn't plan this, kind of perfect. But everyone's looking out those windows and everyone's worried about, do I open this? Do I close it? Do I this? Do I that? Whether it's that your windows are old or cheap or both, and you just need replacement windows for your safety, for the beauty of your home, for your resale value, you have lots of choices. Like we all have a television. When I watch my television, it's plaintiff's attorneys, it's drug ads, and it's window. I don't know why the big thing in window, but man, people are out there doing it. Universal Windows Direct has been great with me, to me, for me, and my people. Lots of people have used them and really, really like them. Buy 2 windows, get 2 for free with no limit. 24 months, no payments, no interest, $500 off your total bill at the end. 314-334-2522, universalwindowsdirect.com.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications the top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, and we are discussing esophageal cancer with Dr. Raymond Jin.
We're starting a program here in the upper GI space called PREVENT. That's the acronym, and it's really aimed at trying to detect these cancers early and even to kind of, reverse them and understand kind of the science behind why they form.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Americans demanded border security, and House Republicans delivered. According to the Department of Homeland Security, for 10 consecutive months, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has reported 0 illegal aliens released at the border. I'm proud to have worked with the Trump administration to secure our southern border and uphold our immigration laws, and will keep fighting to advance strong policies that protect Missourians and keep America safe.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Presented Presented by Worldwide Technology, the BizDash 5K is back. Produced by the St. Louis Sports Commission, a high-energy corporate race in St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. Thursday, May 7th at Energizer Park. Register your team at stlbizdash.com.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Built on a century. Focused on today. The voice of St. Louis. KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. So just like you guys, we deal with technology and moving parts and moving people. And we don't know exactly what's going on, but we do know that in that last segment, there were some things that played over us, things that are like pre-programmed for alerts and things like that. But for some reason, we can't hear them. So we don't know when they're playing. And I think they played over the last half of what I said. And so I'll just kind of repeat what I said. And it's just making you feel better stuff. It's just that DGS is here. We will be here until 4:40 when I'm assuming we will turn it over to the pregame show. The Cardinals play the Pirates tonight at 5:40 p.m. And we're going to be here the entire time. If we go into storm mode, then we slip out the side, and Michael Calhoun and Dave Murray slip into the big chairs, and we just kind of watch them do their thing. And then when storm mode is over, and they may go into storm mode 2 or 3, 4 times between now and 5 p.m., they may not go into storm mode at all. And if so, we'll just do as normal-ish of a show as we can. We understand that KMOX is, this is what we're built for, right? That when the storm of the year is heading toward us, at least possibly, and your kids are out of school and you're trying to figure out how to get them, and where do I need to be in my basement? Can I go to Walmart? We're going to do our best to keep you informed on all of that stuff. We'll be hearing from Dave Murray at minimum 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 3:30 p.m. But if anything gets froggy, Dave will jump in, and there you go. Okay? Now, you may not have heard that because something was over my voice. but you'll have to let us know because we don't know. So, Wheels, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on.
Do you have baseball scheduled tonight?
No.
That's good.
Mondays are quiet days. But I can tell you, just my internal radar system, we're going to get hit the hardest while we're all driving home.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's a real thing. Like, Rach and I are talking about that. Like,
just the odds of
everyone
it.
else in St. Louis, we're just going to have to listen to KMOX.
Yep.
Trust Dave Murray. You get a window you can drive home. If not, you just hunker down. Wheels, did you say Claibs had to pull over into a parking garage earlier?
Something. He had to pull under shelter of some kind, whether it was an overpass or a parking garage, as we were going to go to him for Gas House Gang, but we didn't go to him because we went into storm mode.
Well, hopefully it wasn't an overpass. Just a reminder, do not stop your car under an overpass. It is insanely dangerous, and it's selfish, and it endangers other people.
Yeah.
So don't do that. I'm not saying that's what Claibs did, but just the fact that it got brought up.
I think Pajeski said it was a parking garage of some kind.
Good.
You want to tell them about Lombardo, Rach?
I would love to. Right now, in the month of April, Lombardo Homes is offering a bunch of really cool incentives that I'll let Dave tell you about. But what you really need to do is start by checking out Lombardo in the first place. If you are thinking of building a home in the St. Louis area, there's so many different communities to choose from when it comes to Lombardo. You can also build a gorgeous Lombardo home on your own lot with the Anywhere Lombardo program. Go to their website, lombardohomes.com, click on Missouri Homes, see what they're all about, and talk to a sales agent about these incentives that Dave's going to tell you about.
Yeah, so you can pick. You can do a free finished rec room. You can do premium kitchen and cabinet upgrades. You can do design credits. You can do closing cost savings. So Lombardo, already a great company, just looking to make it as easy as possible for you to look into building your own home exactly the way you want. For all things Lombardo, go to lombardohomes.com.
The thing that you need in the morning, when you first wake up.
Total Information AM.
I like to be informed with the news and like to know, like in the mornings, I like to know what's going on.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman.
It's always smart to know what's going on.
Your morning news and information.
The national and local news.
Weather.
Sports.
I like the traffic reports.
Total Information AM.
I listen to it in the mornings. It really gets me going.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Hey Missouri, it's game time. Start betting like a pro with the world's largest sportsbook at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor and I'm the owner of Circus Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high limits, player-friendly pricing, exceptional customer service, and more. Download your new bookie at circusports.com. The action starts now, Missouri. Experience the difference with Circus Sports. Bet like a pro.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Here's Dave Murray's weather forecast brought to you by i3 Broadband. Spring is here. Time to toss out that dusty treadmill and your laggy cable internet. Upgrade to 100% in-home fiber from i3 Broadband. Plus, we're springing forward with our longest price guarantees ever on our gig speed internet services. No data caps, just pure speed. Visit i3broadband.com/radio and start your spring off right.
We have a cold front moving into our warm and moist, juicy atmosphere. So we're looking for a redevelopment of showers and strong thunderstorms mid to late afternoon into the evening. It will be windy and 82 for the high. Now, the best chance for thunderstorms, and again, the severe stuff is not for everybody, but there's going to be severe weather around, will be 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon until about 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening. And then after we get past that, the skies will clear out late tonight. 54 for the low. On Tuesday, mostly sunny and cool, 72, but some spot afternoon thunderstorms are possible on Tuesday. The strong to severe weather will produce some very intense thunderstorm weather. Heavy rain, lightning, hail, strong gusty winds of 60 to 80 miles per hour, the possibility of large-scale tornadoes. Again, I want to stress that's not for everybody, but we need to be alert as we get into the late afternoon and evening hours. And I'll keep you up to date. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Right now, inflation is squeezing budgets, and global events can shake up the markets overnight. If you're close to retirement, you don't get unlimited do-overs, so this is not the time to just hope it works out. That's why Steve Auld and the team at the All Financial Group are hosting an upcoming educational seminar called Retirement Simplified, May 6th and May 7th. You'll learn how rising costs could drain your spending power, how political and economic headlines may impact your returns, and whether your retirement strategy is truly stress-tested for today's economy. This event is complimentary, and you must reserve your seat today. 636-230-8824. You can also get more details online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, or registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions. The All Financial Group is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the U.S. government or any other government agency.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
And this is Megan Lynch from the KMOX newsroom. We just wanted to give you an update on that tornado warning that remains in effect until 2 o'clock for a big swath of central Madison County and southwestern Illinois. About 1:25, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Glen Carbon. It's moving to the east about 30 miles per hour. You should watch for flying debris. We're not hearing much in the way of hail at this point, but some of the communities that are in the path of this storm include Glen Carbon, Edwardsville, Troy, Maryville, Roxana, and Collinsville. That storm hitting right about now. And then Marine and St. Jacob, it's going to hit you about 1:45 again. This is a tornado warning in effect this afternoon until 2 p.m. Stay with KMOX for the latest.
It seems like just yesterday when I captured my son's first steps or when we recorded his soccer games on VHS tapes. Those moments are gone. But the old home movies and pictures don't need to be. That's why my son created Legacy Box.
That's right, Mom. Over 1 million families have used Legacy Box to digitally preserve their old home movies and photos.
Simply fill Legacy Box with your old camcorder tapes, film, and photos. They will professionally digitize and send them back on DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud.
With Mother's Day around the corner, it's the perfect time to get your Legacy Box and save your family's history. After all, few things are as important as protecting your precious memories. Give your mom a Mother's Day present she'll never forget. Take advantage of our Mother's Day sale, which starts now. It's our best deal of the year. Save up to 60% off. Visit legacybox.com/radio and for a limited time, get an incredible 60% off your order. That's legacybox.com/radio for 60% off. legacybox.com/radio.
Tonight, the Cards, the Pirates.
Ameren Total Access 445. First pitch 540.
Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX 134. So we are not formally in storm mode, which we in the DGS always kind of like, kid around about because it's we don't have to work. But we're kind of in storm mode the whole show today for obvious reasons. If you own a television or have eyeballs, you can look up in the sky and see how dark it is. If you have a television, you know that for 4 days now they've been talking about St. Louis this afternoon and how bad these storms could be. The good news is you don't have to rely on me. We have an army behind us. We have Dave Murray. We have all the people in the newsroom. So we've got you. If anything is going to happen, you're going to know about it on KMOX. We will do our best to go ahead with a normal-ish show, which no one needs to feel sorry for us. But, I mean, it's weird. It's hard to remember one time my band was playing at the Stratford Inn, and they said, okay, tonight's going to be a little weird, boys, because the UFC fights are on, and it's on a big screen above your heads. And so when the fight starts, we'll let you know gently to stop playing, even if it's in the middle of the song. So we're up there jamming, I'm the walrus, goo-goo-goo-goo. And a guy would come flying, flailing his arms, and we would come to a screeching halt, and then they would watch UFC. That's a little bit how the show's going to be today, because we just don't know when Megan or Michael or Maria or Beth or Dave Murray is going to say, hey, need some airtime, like what just happened just now. Yep. So we're all in this together, and we're all going to get through it. It's going to be okay.
Yep. They're so good at this, too.
Yeah, it's fun. It's again, my whole theory of my life has been I was good enough at things to get in the room with people who are really good. And this is one more example where I'm working with true professionals and I'm just like pretending to be one of them. I'm like, okay, it's time to go to Dave Murray now. I'm like, don't hit the ball to me. Don't hit the ball to me.
Don't make me ask a question.
Rach has the hardest job.
Yeah.
Every day, but especially today. She's like the mad professor. She's worrying about the board, and then she's worrying about the storm. She's worrying about this, worrying about that, and still trying to be a personality. So we appreciate you, Rach.
You need a fly swatter for all these things.
I just don't want people to think if a warning takes over the air, I can't control that at this point. And I just want people to know that that's what drives me crazy is when something goes wrong and it's like, but guys, that one wasn't my fault. If it was my fault, I'll take responsibility. But when it's not, it's so tough to just be like,
the good news is that
I don't
everyone's going to blame Andrew. So you're fine. By the way, guys, if you're on the stream on Facebook or on YouTube, let us know what's going on out by you. Tell us what neighborhood you're in. Tell us what you're seeing. We'll relay that to Dave Murray, who's standing by. Diane Franklin says, I think the kids are safer in school than at home with no parents. Why do that? This is the first one for me. My kids were never sent home. My kids are grown now, so I don't have to worry about that. And we had pretty good coverage, like when the kids were little. But for those of you who don't, man, that sucks. You're working, and if you're at a job where working's working, and you can't just go, hey, school called, got to get my kids. They're like, well, tell grandma or something because that's not my problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rough one. I won't put my judgment over the superintendents and the meteorologists, but I will just say this. If I knew a tornado was going to hit me and I could be anywhere, I would be in my old elementary school. That thing was built of granite and resentment. And it's like the safest place I can remember ever being.
Well, speaking of things closing, I just want to let the people at home listening know that St. Louis city offices are closing at 2 p.m. So you've got about 20 minutes left if you want to try to squeeze something in. But they're closing at 2 p.m. I'm assuming all sorts of businesses all over the region are going to be closing very soon if they haven't closed already. So just thinking of going anywhere, maybe stay home, but I would definitely call first and make sure the place you're getting to is going to let you inside.
Yes. Yes. I've been talking the whole time.
Boom.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time for someone else to step up.
I don't disagree about the school thing. Again, I don't want to be like all the superintendents and school boards are wrong or whatever, but I do think a school is, a school is supposed. It's funny to say that in 2026 when we have the schools being a very unsafe place for a lot of kids in a lot of situations. But schools are supposed to be safe places for kids in all situations.
Yeah.
And I think having a staff of adults who can manage these kids and keep them safe is part of the idea of a school. And so I think it is actually a lot safer to maybe even keep the kids past when school lets out in order to make sure that they're all together in one place where you can manage them, keep an eye on them, and keep them safe versus just opening the door and going all right, kids, hit it.
Yeah, I don't think
if you run, you can beat the rain.
I don't think it goes that way. I'm surprised because we never had schools canceled for, storms or anything like that. But Dave Murray laid it out, I think, pretty well. Well, the last thing you want are kids on buses, getting off buses in the middle of one of these things later on in the day. Because you don't always know exactly when they're going to hit. So if it looks fine at the time you're loading up the buses, and then 20 minutes later you're getting pounded with hail and there are warnings and you're dropping kids off the bus, and then people are driving to get their kids because some kids get picked up there, then you've got the family. The faculty. Well, they have kids and families too, so they can't just stay till 5 or 6 o'clock. Who's taking care of their kids? I think it's a real challenge. I don't think I think you guys make really good points because the school probably structurally is very safe, comparatively speaking. But there are 10 layers to it, and I don't pretend to have all of them, but it's got to be crazy difficult to make that call because of all the juggling parts. Again, what about the kids that don't have a parent that can get away from work, as you guys pointed out? It's going to be some of them, and maybe they have accommodations for that. Maybe those kids can just stay.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's your parent can come sign you out
anytime
and drive you home.
Yeah.
Yes, starting at 2 or whenever it closes. But yeah, I would hope they're not just, hey, you're 6.
See ya,
and
kid.
we're dropping you off. Have fun.
I would guess that most schools have some kind of contingency for that.
For sure. You would think so. Talking about businesses closing, Barry points out that the Lion's Choice in Baldwin is closing at 2 p.m. So I know we
just got serious.
Good to know.
Dave Murray's going to pop back on.
Dave's like, I wasn't that concerned, but now I'm worried.
If a Taco Bell closes, I quit. Walk right out of here.
Oh, no. Fully Deconstructed says that his 8th grader was forced to walk home in the pouring rain. That's terrible. You don't like to hear that.
No.
Wheels, do you know what takes precedent tonight? Cardinals baseball or storm mode?
So, yeah, our boss just kind of put this out there as a reminder for everybody. But on the FM side, the Cardinals game will continue to play even if we're having these problems.
Because you're in network.
That's right, because we're in the Cardinals radio network, and we run the Cardinals radio network from our studio here. But then we would split off the AM signal to do full storm coverage. So if you're listening later on and it's really bad storms during the Cardinals game and you're hearing baseball here, you'll get the occasional update on the FM, like we'll break in during a commercial or even over the game for a couple seconds just to say, hey, there's a warning or whatever. But the extended full coverage would be happening on the AM dial on 1120. So if we are in storm mode during the Cardinals game, go to the AM dial.
Excellent.
We got a plan, man. We got a plan.
Yeah.
We
Now we just have to execute.
Yeah.
That's always the hard part.
And for us, execute means get the hell out of the way.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Like, here comes everybody else. We'll just stand down.
It's like, okay.
Which is fine, by the way, because, again, that's what they do.
I need you to entertain tens of thousands of people. I need you to keep them on the edge of their seats with gritty, timely content, but get the hell out of the way when we tell you it's storm mode.
Okay, what if we set like a timer and each of us had to try to do storm mode for like the full minute?
Oh.
I'd be like, dang, it is dark out there. Whoa. Seems bad.
What do you think, Dave? Storms? Yeah, me too.
So a storm is when it like rains, and so also there's lightning at times.
No, when I listen, and I do, whether I'm here or I'm not here, when I listen to like Michael or Megan and Dave in storm mode, I'm like, that's a whole next level. I'd be out of things to say so fast.
Dave's watching us on the stream, and I can tell he's getting so mad at us trying to do storm mode.
Oh, Dave can pop up anytime he wants.
Come on.
There you go.
He is.
There he is.
Yeah, we put a little light on the subject.
So, Dave, you're just sitting there. We're just talking about you. You're like, okay.
Yeah. I'm doing several things at once. Just took a potty break for a while.
Good. That's important.
Dave's like, yeah, I am actually pretty busy, but no, if you guys want me to come on, I guess.
Diane Franklin says getting hammered in fluorescent. But how's the weather?
Yeah, what there is a pretty good batch of thunderstorms. There's a thunderstorm warning out for western and let's say central portions of St. Louis County right now. Biggest storms are running from about Chesterfield through Maryland Heights up through the airport up to Old Jamestown and just starting to get towards Alton and Godfrey. No tornadoes on that. Getting some little flash flooding reports off of that, mainly street flooding, things like that, though also getting some reports that there could be a couple of vehicles stranded. That's the biggest thing out of this is the heavy rain in a short period of time and a lot of lightning. That's what we have to deal with. This is still all part of part one from this morning and into the early afternoon. Part two is going to be developing somewhere. That's about all I can tell you right now. The focus continues to me anyway, looks like southeast Missouri, southern Illinois as we go through the late afternoon and into the evening. So we'll ride with that. Oh, someone just said, hey, someone talk about opening their windows during a tornado.
Oh, let's not do this.
On the stream.
Don't
want to
do
do that? Okay.
No, that's important safety. It's a funny story from my past. But people my age, people from the Civil War, we were told to open your windows during tornadoes because of the pressure, but that is evidently bad advice.
Well, it's bad advice because you're wasting valuable time if you're under a tornado warning to go to the window, which is a bad place to be in a high wind tornado situation, and open the window.
The time I just have to say, the time I did it, I've never felt like more of a hero. Because my entire family was in the basement. I went outside. I think, Dave, I looked up into the funnel cloud because it was like swirling.
Rotating around, yeah.
So I went inside and like, I only know one thing. You have to open all the windows. So I opened all the windows. The storm is hitting. It smashed all of our paintings. It smashed all of our vases all over the floor. Maureen walks upstairs and I'm thinking she's going to be like, thank God I chose wisely. And she goes, you are such a jackass.
Beat the spring cleaning rush at Zero Res. This week, buy one room of carpet, get one cleaned for free. Unlimited rooms and whole system air duct cleaning for just $599. Visit ZeroResSTL.com. That's ZeroResSTL.com.
Get ready to laugh out loud, St. Louis. The outrageous Broadway hit Spamalot is riding into the fabulous Fox Theater May 5th through the 17th. From the twisted minds of Monty Python, this Tony Award-winning musical brings you killer rabbits, dancing knights, and non-stop hilarity. It's the legend of King Arthur like you've never seen it before. More information can be found at KMOX.com/events.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
So Dr. Corey Solman is kind of a strange live endorsement because I don't want anything bad to happen to you guys. I don't want anything bad to happen to my family. And so I kind of hope that you never meet Dr. Solman professionally. But KMOX has a big enough audience out there and thousands of people and car accidents and sports and slip and falls and those kinds of things. Any number of you are going to need to see an orthopedic surgeon. Now, whether you do or not, and let me make this point for this live endorsement. It's not like the olden days when you have to call your general practitioner and get a referral, and he sends you to his or her golf buddy. You can call Dr. Corey Solman, 636-231-5881, SolmanOrthopedics.com. Let him know that, hey, I'm from the DGS, and I can tell you, proof positive, that does help. That does grease the wheels. That does get you in, especially if it's something emergent. That if someone just took a bad fall or they just had a car accident and you need to see them quick, they will get you in. Whether it's a sprained ankle or it's a green stick compound fracture, a back issue, whatever it happens to be, you can trust Corey. He is one of the best surgeons just when it comes to knowledge and dexterity. He's a very easy guy to talk to, very affable, very charming, very funny. Again, that's Solman, S-O-L-M-A-N, SolmanOrthopedics.com.
There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Here's reason 17. In today's new world, many law firms have had money injected into their firms by Wall Street, private equity, and other lenders. This money usually comes in at very, very high interest rates. It's one of the reasons you see so many lawyers advertising. I'm John Morgan. This money is expensive, and the interest compounds quickly. These law firms can have a huge need for cash just to pay that debt. Why does it matter to you? My fear is your case is settled early and for far less than it's worth, just to service the loan that has mafia-like rates. Our financial strength is your advantage. That plus our reputation makes our firm your firm. Visit forthepeople.com to see our results and verdicts. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Save big money on everything for your next project at Menards. Steelworks offers a wide selection of aluminum and steel materials for any project. Choose from durable steel angle iron to tubular steel and aluminum and steel sheets and rods that are built to last. Perfect for DIYers and professionals alike to get the job done right. Save big on Steelworks products at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer at menards.com for more great deals.
Save big money at Menards.
Welcome back, guys. DGS and KMOX 152. Monday afternoon. Obviously, weather is going to be the story of the day. We're not in storm mode. I think that when there is a tornado warning, then you have to go into storm mode, and that's kind of how they do it. And I think we're all anticipating being in storm mode for at least a portion of the afternoon and evening. Michael Calhoun will be here in a few moments. We have Megan Lynch. We have Maria Kina. We also want to let you know that tonight the pregame for the Cardinals will begin at 4:40. The Cardinals will play the Pirates in Pittsburgh, thank God, at 5:40. And Wheels was telling us that if we are in storm mode during that time, the FM signal, 104.1 FM, will carry the Cardinals game in its entirety. We won't break in, but we will be in storm mode full time on the AM signal, 1120, if we are having bad weather tonight during the game. So just know that you are covered. If you tune in to 104.1 as you usually do, because hell's raining down on your house and you hear the Cardinals game, just go to 1120 AM. All right.
Boom.
I think I'm handling the storm pretty
You're
good.
doing
There you
great.
Not too bad.
I think I might be looking at a Murrow.
All right.
Just going to say it.
Okay.
I think you're going to get the Murrow for when you said, and what about the weather?
Wouldn't that be great?
That's what it says on the plaque.
He kept it simple. He kept it pithy.
It
right
was a
to the
classic.
point.
It was a total Glover classic.
A classic.
KMOX FM, and then in quotation marks. What about the weather?
Wheels goes, I'm just sitting over here watching. Like,
It feels that way. We got done with Greg Amsinger on Gas House Gang, and that's when everything hit. It's just been like a spectator for the last hour and a half.
Well, you are a licensed weather watcher.
I am. I've been looking out the window.
That's
so,
true.
Yeah.
Weather spotter.
Well, it's a trained weather spotter. That's correct.
Why did you do that?
I don't have a license. There is no license.
What made you do that?
For funsies.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so odd for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I feel like we're not getting the whole story.
I didn't do it alone.
Yeah, I think it
That was a husband and wife
couples
activity. We went out and had, because we all do that. We stand out on the porch and we watch the weather. So I figured, what the heck, man?
That's nice.
It's delightful. It's weird.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, it's cute.
no, it'd be like, excited to take square dancing classes. You're like,
Well, that would be really weird
beautiful.
for me.
That's odd.
Weather stuff's not. Listen, you got to build up your resume when you're on KMOX. You got to learn some stuff outside of, baseballs.
Is there a weather competition between you and Susan now?
No, because most of the time.
Nimbocumulus, you're an idiot.
Oh, look at that. That's a shelf cloud. Yeah, the difference usually is that when these things are happening, we're almost never in the same place. I'm usually down here.
Tyler, our truck driver, says, friendly reminder for others on the road with visibility reduced and driving a truck or larger vehicles like mine. It's harder to see things, especially in a water-covered mirror. Please be careful. Yes. Thank you, Tyler.
Yes.
Yeah. Make sure your headlights are on. Thank you. That's a good one, Tyler.
If you're going to pick any day to just not be a jerk, pick a day like today.
No
You know what I mean? Because
kidding.
people are so selfish out there on the roads. Not everybody, but there are a select few that make these bad choices.
So-
just everybody's trying to work together for once.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break here, and then when we come back at 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 3:30 p.m., and 4 p.m., regardless of what the weather's doing, we will talk to Dave Murray. He is literally in his studio, on standby, ready to go at any time. And then if the weather turns, we'll go into storm mode. We'll take a step back and let Michael Calhoun and Dave Murray take over.
Here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters, and I'm pretty careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family has been working with the Lederman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason is simple. They don't just create documents and send you on your way. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs and circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time as needs, circumstances, and laws change. They're outdated, sitting in a drawer. People assume they're fine, and their plan will work when they need it to work. At the Lederman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. Check out the Lederman Law Firm at LedermanLaw.com or give them a call at 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Why would life-saving care require a membership? In a real emergency, are you reaching for your wallet or your phone to call 911? And what if the member helicopter isn't the closest one? What if they don't carry blood on board? What if those differences matter? They do. Arch Air Medical Service is proud to serve Effingham and surrounding communities with life-saving air medical care. Our highly trained crews deliver advanced medicine in the air because when seconds count, capability matters more than a card in your wallet. Plus, we're part of Air Methods, the nation's largest air medical provider. Worried about cost? Here's the truth. The No Surprises Act protects patients with private insurance from unexpected out-of-network air ambulance bills. You'll only pay your in-network copay, coinsurance, or deductible. If you have Medicare or Medicaid, similar protections apply. Providers cannot bill beyond those limits. That means no air medical membership is needed. Learn more at airmethods.com. Copays, coinsurance, and deductibles are set by insurance providers, not Air Methods. Terms and costs may vary. Contact your insurer for details.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
In digital advertising, everyone talks about clicks, but clicks don't pay the bills. Sales do. Outcomes from Viant is a new way to advertise that prioritizes your bottom line. Our AI-driven technology looks past the noise to find the customers most likely to buy your product. It's smarter, faster, and designed for real-world results. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
Right now, you can bet on the Kentucky Derby on FanDuel, where you can also bet on all your other favorite sports. And all customers right now get a Derby bet reset. What does that mean? Well, you get a racing bonus back if your bet doesn't win. The app is super easy to use. I've been telling you about it for months, and you don't have to be a horse racing expert to get in on the Derby Day action. A lot of people are, and you can do the same. Bet the fastest 2 minutes in sports on FanDuel. Kentucky Derby and Kentucky Oaks are registered trademarks of Churchill Downs Incorporated. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Verified FD racing account required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable racing site credit that expires 9 days after receipt. Max refund $10 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at racing.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 2 o'clock, we have cloudy skies, 69 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch. In the news this hour, of course, is the severe weather that we're looking at. The National Weather Service in St. Louis has issued a new tornado warning, this time for Bond County in south central Illinois and portions of east central Madison County in southwestern Illinois. That is in effect until 2:45 p.m. Just before 2 o'clock, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over Marine near Highland, moving east at 25 miles per hour, and that radar did indicate some rotation. Flying debris could be possible. Some of the communities that will be impacted by this storm include Alhambra, Highland, Grand Fork, Purin, Old Ripley, Pocahontas, Dudleyville, Greenville, Beaver Creek, and Smithboro. So if you are in that area, please seek shelter immediately. Again, that's a tornado warning in effect for portions of Bond County and southeastern Madison County until 2:45 this afternoon. There is also a severe thunderstorm warning that is in effect for much of the KMOX listening area. We're getting reports of hail damage to vehicles in the St. Louis County area as well. So stay with KMOX for the latest on this storm. We have had some reports of some power outages and lines down as the first round of storms came through. Thousands have been plunged into the dark. The majority of those in Maryland Heights, Bridgeton, Ferguson, and Florissant. To the west of downtown Baldwin, Clarkson Valley, Creve Coeur, Ellisville, and Frontenac and Manchester. Ameren crews are trying to assess the damage. Right now, there is no time estimate of restoration of that power. St. Charles County Police are reporting some power lines down at 94 and Meadowview, so use caution in that area. Avoid that area. Actually, use an alternate route. When storms do blow in again later on this afternoon, they could bring more winds of 50 to 60 miles per hour. Those squall line winds could top 90 miles an hour. AccuWeather senior meteorologist Tyler Royce says with leaves on the trees now this spring, the wind can literally uproot trees.
So when you get these strong winds, it's not like wintertime where the trees can just blow around and some twigs or some branches fall off. It's almost like the wind is also going to try to be like lifting the trees up.
And St. Louis County prosecutors offering you a way to get out of paying for old traffic offenses. Prosecuting attorney Melissa Price-Smith says all you have to do is take a certified educational course.
Once they complete this class successfully, the infraction is dismissed. They don't get points on their license, and ultimately, their insurance is not increased.
Price Smith tells KMOX's Total Information AM the office is facing a 6,000 ticket backlog of minor traffic offenses dating back to 2021. One note, DWIs and other serious offenses are not part of this program. Joining me now in studio, you may have heard those tones go off. We've got more warnings popping up. Michael Calhoun is in now with the latest. Michael?
Yeah, this is from the National Weather Service, and this is a tornado warning, Megan. So this is an emergency situation in Madison County, St. Clair County, and St. Louis City until 2:45. Just a moment ago at the top of the hour, National Weather Service said a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located over the city, moving east at 30 miles an hour. This is radar-indicated rotation. This is not something that's been seen by, for instance, a police officer or a trained spotter, but this is radar-indicated. They can see the rotation. The hazards with this, of course, a tornado with a tornado warning, also quarter-sized hail. We're talking about the city and then immediately across the river, East St. Louis, Madison, Granite City, Washington Park, Caseyville, Fairview Heights, Pontoon Beach, Collinsville, Edwardsville, Maryville, Glen Carbon, and O'Fallon. Also, Horseshoe Lake State Park and Scott Joplin Historic Site. Interstate 64, if you're in your car, especially near Exit 9, you should look for some sort of a building, a quick trip, someplace where you might be able to take shelter. Again, Megan, we're looking at a tornado warning for Madison County, St. Clair County, and St. Louis City until 2:45. That's from the National Weather Service. Let me pull up the radar here.
Yeah, and that adds to the one that we've already got, 2:45 for Bond County as well.
Yeah, this is crossing over. It looks like it's just crossed over from the University City, Clayton, Richmond Heights arc into the city of St. Louis at that point. That's at least on the radar where I can see a bit of a notch, which may be a signature of rotation that they're taking a look at. That's also right at the beginning of this tornado warning, which again stretches across the river, includes the city, and it includes it is the shape of the city all the way to the northern tip, but it does not include all of the southern part of St. Louis City. If I can take a look here, it looks like it's about between 44 and 55 is where the line for this tornado warning in the city of St. Louis is. To the south, to the north, again, it's the entire city, and then it extends very generously into our Metro East counties of Madison and St. Clair.
Well, and Michael, the one thing that people can't discount, just because you're not under a tornado warning does not mean that you don't have severe weather in your area. There's that broader thunderstorm warning that is in effect for southwest Madison County, St. Clair County, St. Louis County, the northeastern portion of that, St. Louis City as well. You know, we're looking at 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail that has been reported in some of these systems. So even if you're not hearing those, tornado warnings, any of you need to seek shelter, get in a safe place right now because of the weather that we've got moving through.
And especially here on KMOX, and if you're listening on 1120, you're hearing static, 104.1 might be a better choice. If you're going down to the basement, you can get us on the Odyssey app. If you've been listening on the radio, maybe you're headed inside of a building, you've pulled over, gone to a quick trip or something. But that is a huge danger. The winds especially, because if you're on 44, if you're on 64, which is included in this tornado warning, the Metro East, as well as through the heart of downtown in the city of St. Louis, those wind gusts could hit one of those big box tractor trailers. And as professional as they are and as great control as they can have, if those wind gusts are 50, 60, 70 miles per hour, I mean, that's out of their control, and that could be a dangerous situation. Of course, hail, too. If you're driving at 70 on the interstate and a hailstone of significant size falls on your windshield, you get a crack, you could wind up into a crash there as well. So that is a region-wide concern. Tornado warning right now for Madison, St. Clair in Illinois, and the city of St. Louis from all the way north until just south of 44. This is until 2:45.
I do want to stress to the parents out there who are listening, a lot of us, our kids, were let out from school early today, or at least they were supposed to have early dismissal. Obviously, the storm has picked up some steam at a point when I don't think the forecasters necessarily thought it might. Some of your kids may be delayed. Make sure that you are communicating with the school. I know our school district sent out a note, please don't come and try to get the kids. We're going to keep them in a safe place. So listen for communication from your school to know what they're doing to keep your kids safe.
And an organization like that, just like the airport, just like we've seen with Busch Stadium even, but especially a school district is going to have severe weather procedures. They're going to know for sure which part of the building is fortified, and so it's much safer for your children to be in that interior room, in the room that's cinder block with no windows in the middle of the school or the basement, as opposed to you sitting outside in the car in line as a storm like this comes through.
You mentioned the flights. Just one note. I checked on Fly STL quickly because I had seen an alert out of O'Hare. Of course, some of these storms reach all the way up into northern Illinois and Chicago. Big flight delays at O'Hare. There's also some flight delays here in St. Louis. So just make sure you check on your flight before you might try to take off in some of this severe weather.
Absolutely. Again, this is a region-wide tornado watch and severe thunderstorm warnings for much of the KMOX listening area. But the real emergency situation is a tornado warning that the National Weather Service has issued for southwestern Madison County, northwestern St. Clair County. That gives you an idea of the possible track of this, as well as the city of St. Louis. And again, looking at the radar, it looked as if the part that may have been a hook had crossed over at the mid-county area around University City, Clayton, down to Richmond Heights and perhaps Maplewood. But this is moving swiftly, and it looks like that part is moving across the river. And so if you're in Granite City to Madison, you need to take shelter immediately, I would say, taking a look at this radar.
Make sure you stay with KMOX. We will have more on the storm system coming up.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Enter now at overheaddoorstlouis.com.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. Obviously, a weird day today. Just looking at the televisions with the radar, and it looks nasty. Just had a tornado warning downtown. And good thing we have Kevin Wheeler, Storm Spotter.
I'm all over it.
There was a point where he literally pointed, and I'm like, I need a photo of that.
Well, you had clouds going in two different directions, which is interesting.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
Spotting that weather.
Okay, so I'm just going to reset the table. Going to be a lot of resetting of the table because everyone is in this, in this mode, looking out. Some of you are going to pick up your kids early. Some of you, they're already home. Some of you, the kids are, going all the way through, which is kind of a crazy day. Why didn't my school close, or why did my school close? This is kind of a new one for St. Louis, but just shows you the seriousness that people have with this storm. We had one part of it blow through, which I think what we're seeing now are the remnants of that, at least over here on the west side of the Mississippi. And then later on, Dave Murray likes between 3 p.m. and about 8 p.m. for it to reconstitute and pop up somewhere in our area. But as Dave is always honest and, tells it like it is, he doesn't know whether it's going to be north of St. Louis, south of St. Louis, although he thinks that southeast of St. Louis and on the east side is, where he's most worried about. But we will be popping on with him at the top of each hour. Right now, he's doing a hit with our sister station 97.1, so he'll be with us in a moment. Meanwhile, Rach is like Lon Chaney, the Phantom of the Opera, just like beep, 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 boop, 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 beep, like hitting stuff. And...
Well, okay, so these alerts come through, and they're going to push out onto the air unless we manually abort the alert or kill the alert, right? So they come through. I can't immediately hit kill. The mouse is like no sign. You have to wait a certain period of time, and then it's a limited period of time where you can actually hit kill. Am I making sense?
Yes.
So I'm waiting for it to load so I can hit kill, waiting for it to load, waiting for it to load. Oh, okay, it's going to let me do it. I go to click. I guess I slip the mouse the slightest bit to where the wheel rolls down a bit, and I hit send instead of kill. And I've been sitting here stressing about hitting kill. I hit send and I'm like, no. And Steve was in here. He was like, you have got to calm down. It is okay. I think I was able to save it though, because then there was an abort button.
Yeah.
So if that went through, let me know on the stream. Even though I don't know if they know. If you're somehow listening on the radio and the stream, let me know.
Was it like a minute ago, like 2 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Yes.
It went through.
Yes. It's
Just a little extra warning for Pike County. It's fine.
It is. It's okay.
Boy, Pike County always gets hit, huh?
Pike County,
Every single
they should
time.
have days where they, have coverage if there are no storms.
Like Centerville, Pennsylvania, like the places in America that they've just condemned for various hazard reasons. They should just condemn Pike County. Everybody moves.
My Lord.
Okay.
Everybody go north or south.
Anyway, Pike County, tune
There he
in.
goes.
We've got you covered.
That's
The
Andrew.
weather.
Look, I'm trying to help them out with the tornadoes, man. They get
Oh, it
hit
was
like
just-
crazy.
It was just one of those moments where it's like, all right, I'm going to be able to hit the button that I need to hit so that this alert doesn't go out. And then it's like, meh, no. complete opposite of what you wanted to happen. So that's cool.
At
Feels great.
2:30, we have Bernie Miklasz. We will plan to go ahead with that. And then at 3 p.m., Dave's going to join us here in a couple of minutes, but at the top of the 3 p.m. hour, he will join us again, even if it's sunny, which we're getting some reports on the stream that at least 20 minutes ago, the sun was out in Wildwood and Darden Prairie, and that's bad. That's bad. Because as Dave was explaining, the sunnier it is and the hotter it is between now and maybe 4 p.m., the worse the storms could and probably would be. So overcast is good, cooler is good, tamp it down is good. I'm not sure we need Dave Murray. I think I'm kind of killing this. I think I'm kind of killing it.
And we got our own weather spotter.
Right.
And
I mean,
I can spot it, but I can't forecast
between you and the spotter, what do we need?
By the time I can see it, it's too late.
Rach over there doing
I'll
her
just play the
thing.
alert. I'll just let the alerts play.
Yeah.
You crapping on major Missouri counties. I mean, we kind of.
Yeah.
Look, it's for their own good. I'm trying to help. Every time I've ever heard an EAS alert, it's about Pike County getting hammered.
Wonder if we'll do anything real today.
I don't know.
Bernie's real, unless we just want to talk about storms with Bernie.
Yeah, Bernie's real. That's true. Hey, before Bernie, I have a sports thing, but I don't think it's Bernie worthy. Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
Who seems like the biggest D in the world. Just like an unpleasant guy. You stop me where I'm wrong. Unpleasant guy. Very braggadocious. Maybe my height. But acts like he's 6'8". He's going to be the biggest thing in the NFL. He didn't use an agent because nobody taking my money and all that kind of stuff. And then literally didn't get drafted in the NFL draft. I think the Ravens have invited him to minicamp. But, like, is this a story? Is it just like you guys all knew this was probably going to happen?
I mean, it wasn't that big a shock.
Is
that
he going to be
didn't get
Uncle
drafted.
Rico in a couple years?
Maybe. I mean, I think he can play football. The question is, how many teams are going to draft a 5'10" quarterback? Not many. Now, it's happened. There have been some first rounders, like Russell Wilson's about that same size. What's his name? Kyler Murray is about that same size. There have been starters that are like Drew Brees is about that same height. But it's not common, and it's not like he had a career that was based on precision passing. He's a very exciting playmaker. So this is not, I want to be clear, what I'm about to say is not about anything off the field. I'm just talking purely the way that he plays quarterback is a bit like Johnny Manziel in the sense that it was a lot of exciting plays and a lot of freelance plays, and he's really good at that. But it's not like he was super at the big things that NFL teams want to see quarterbacks do. Right? His thing was he's really good athlete and he's tough. So, hey, if things break down, I'm just going to run. That doesn't really work that well in the NFL unless you're an elite runner, and there's only like one or two guys that are that.
Why are people jerks? Like,
I can understand it from his perspective to a degree, but there's only to a degree. Being a fellow short guy, you're overlooked all the time. Your whole life, you're told you're not going to be good enough. You're too small. You're too small. You're too small. And that built up the attitude.
Well, I mean, this might sound like a really dumb question, but the whole height thing, is it really just, okay, people who are 4 or 5 inches taller are going to be able to throw the ball like at a higher arc? Is that really what it boils down to?
It's more about seeing.
Okay,
Right?
okay.
Because the offensive linemen in front of you are anywhere from 6'2" to 6'8".
Okay.
So you have to be able to see over them and over the defenders, and that's why the height is preferred. But as I've talked about, there are plenty of great players. Drew Brees is one of the greatest passers of all time. He was 5'9", 5'10". They might have listed him at 6 foot, but he's not.
I almost didn't get this job. I had to lie and say I was 6. 6 foot even.
No, and it's a thing
I'm
that,
even 6 years old.
I'm
I had
sure
to say I was 6.
I'm sure that through his amateur life, playing as a high school player, for example, I'm sure he was overlooked by most programs because he wasn't 6'3". And that can build that sense of me against the world and everybody's against me.
Yeah, but you know
also
what?
you had enough success here recently where you can balance that out.
Yeah, I have to push back on you. Friggin' deal with it. So, cry me a friggin' river, Diego Pavia. You're 5'10" and a Heisman Trophy finalist. Shut up. You're a D because you're a D, and we all have an excuse to be a jerk. But I really went hard in there, didn't I? Tell you guys about Mike at Michael's Bathrooms. Mike has been in the construction business for 30 years, 10 years doing nothing but bathrooms. I'm not sure. I have to ask him. I'm not sure whether he just made a really good bet or it just kind of worked out for him because he liked doing bathrooms so much. But now it's a huge, huge national business. Bath Fitter, 3-day kitchen and bath. They lead the way nationally, doing all the advertising, letting people know, hey, you can just do a bathroom remodel. And then you have Mike in St. Louis. Totally locally owned and operated, better than either of those two companies. Family focused, locally focused, small and agile. If they say they're going to be there Tuesday at 8:45 a.m., they're going to be there Tuesday at 8:45 a.m. They use all made in the USA products. Right now, they're introducing a new premium wall. Perfect for those of you who love stone without the upkeep, sleek, durable, designed to elevate your space. Also, for a limited time, enjoy a free rain shower head or upgrade with safety features like grab bars or a built-in seat. 636-775-0800 or michaelsbaths.com.
For years, Gone South has been a podcast about crime in the American South. But for our new season, we're widening the lens. Through deeply reported, narrative-driven stories, we're digging into the myths, scandals, and power structures that still shape the South, and, in a lot of ways, the country itself. Follow and listen to Gone South Season 5, an Odyssey podcast. Available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your shows.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case? Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Control is everything to me.
Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI.
Don't miss the Route 66 Centennial Festival at the Missouri History Museum, April 30th through May 3rd. Bring back memories of the Mother Road's stunning natural scenery and roadside attractions, and explore its complex history and impacts on communities across the region. Featuring a concert by Sweetie and the Toothaches, a classic car show, neon display, food trucks, lectures, kids crafts, and more. All activities are free. Schedule at mohistory.org/festival.
Hi, I'm Michelle from Bethesda. You've probably heard me talk with Dave on the air about Bethesda in general, but not specifically about the Bethesda Terrace Independent Living Community in Oakville. What makes Bethesda Terrace truly special is our gorgeous 10-acre backyard with water features and walking paths. It's the perfect place to relax and enjoy yourself with friends. And if you have a dog, we have a dog park. Our experienced team would love to show you how easy it is to join the Bethesda family. Go to BethesdaHealth.org and click Contact Us. Complete the form. We'll take it from there.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. YourEyeDoc.com.
One city, one voice. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX 222. Let me set the table for you again. So Dave Murray is going to be with us here in just a second. He's hanging on right now, but he will be with us at the top of each hour of the DGS. So he'll be back with us at 3 p.m., his normal hit at 3:35, and then at 4 p.m. And that's if it's just sunny and perfect. We just want to make sure that you guys know that at the top of each hour, there will be a report. I think you already know this going into it because you're listening to KMOX, but same way we've done it for 100 years. If something big happens, especially the weather, we're going to be on it. Dave is monitoring this. Michael Calhoun will be taking care of the weather desk. And then we'll go on with as normal of a show as we can. 2:30, we'll talk to Bernie Miklas. We'll do some shenanigans as shenanigans fit in. But it's mostly focusing on you guys and the weather and your kids. And should I go out to Walmart? Should I stay home? And Dave Murray joined us again. Hello, Dave.
Hello there.
So what just happened there, Dave? At the top of the hour, we had our phones go off. Went briefly into storm mode, saying there was a tornado warning over downtown. That happened fast.
That did happen fast. Actually, the area was under a thunderstorm warning, and then it was just upgraded again, kind of indicated on radar. I'm just not seeing much. These things are not doing any classic look as far as a tornado is concerned. And that line, it's flying to the east at about 40 miles per hour. It's basically over 255 right now. And Glen Carbon, Maryville down to about Collinsville and rocketing off to the east. It will be in Marine and Highland in Illinois, probably in the matter of 20 minutes. That's how fast the thing's moving. As far as St. Louis City, St. Louis County, St. Charles County, Franklin County, Jefferson County, there's nothing going on right now, nothing at all. In fact, the sun is starting to come out. There is one little cluster of thunderstorms. It is severe, just about at Warrenton. It's pulling away from Herman right now and up towards Troy. That's moving off to the northeast at a very fast clip. That's the only other cell that's in place. The real hot zone, as far as part two, this is still all part one that has been hanging on way too long. It still looks like it's southeast Missouri and southern Illinois. That's almost a guarantee later on tonight. Will it fire up in the St. Louis area? There's still a possibility of that. I don't want anybody to think that if all of a sudden the sun is out in your neighborhood, think, oh, that's it. I don't have to worry about anything. No, we still have to worry about part two. What we don't know, and what I don't know, is that I don't know exactly where that's all going to fire up until it starts to fire up.
So, Dave, when people are watching their televisions, whether it was let's forget about 2 days ago. Let's worry about right now. If people are watching their televisions and the local meteorologist is showing radar images that go through 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., and you see these storms popping up, and you're saying, I don't know where they're going to pop up. I think they're going to pop up, but I don't know where. Like, what are we watching when we're watching that?
Like 2 or 3 days ago? When
No,
when
like
you were seeing that
today.
stuff?
If someone's
today?
showing like 5 p.m., 6 p.m., here comes the line. Like, are they just guessing? Or
It's a computer model that's spitting that out. And you know how I feel about those things. Yeah, they can be good, but they can also be very bad. And sometimes models are way overdone. That you'll have to be very careful. It could look like the end of the world is coming, but it maybe doesn't translate to that. I am not a fan, especially in severe weather. I'm not a fan of showing that kind of stuff because you just have to kind of ride this thing out. We've all been through this over the last 100 years.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just the way these spring storms go. And so far, yeah, we've had some tornado warnings. We've had some severe thunderstorm warnings. But in my book, up to this point, these are run-of-the-mill thunderstorms for late April. This is what we get. This is what we tend to get.
And Dave, you see there, our friend Amy Youngman on the stream says the sun isn't a good thing in this situation, correct?
That is very correct, because the more clouds we have, kind of the calmer the atmosphere. We're not going to get that big lift that goes, once the ground starts to warm and it goes shooting up, because cold front is still far from getting our way. So the more sun that we start to see, and it's a simple forecasting tool for anybody out there, more sun that starts to come out between now and late afternoon, early evening, is an indicator that the atmosphere could really turn over quickly. And even though things aren't doing much right now, as far as that one cell getting away from downtown St. Louis and Missouri, is that these things could fire up very, very quickly.
So, Dave, I hate to do this to you on live radio, but I do have a second weather professional I need to get a second opinion on. Wheels?
I have no second opinion. I will sign off on everything Mr. Murray just said.
That's what I'm looking for. Okay, quick break. Right back. DJS. Thank you, Dave.
All right.
Right now, inflation is squeezing budgets, and global events can shake up the markets overnight. If you're close to retirement, you don't get unlimited do-overs, so this is not the time to just hope it works out. That's why Steve Auld and the team at the All Financial Group are hosting an upcoming educational seminar called Retirement Simplified, May 6th and May 7th. You'll learn how rising costs could drain your spending power, how political and economic headlines may impact your returns, and whether your retirement strategy is truly stress-tested for today's economy. This event is complimentary, and you must reserve your seat today. 636-230-8824. You can also get more details online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, or registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions. The All Financial Group is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the U.S. government or any other government agency.
It's already April. Maybe you're planning to have some get-togethers, a graduation party, Father's Day cookout, who knows? But is your outdoor space ready? Maybe you never got around to all those improvements you had been planning. Call Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best. And whether you're looking for a new deck or a patio, a pergola, a sunroom, a screen room, or all of the above and then some, Chesterfield Fence and Deck can make the magic happen because they have 58 years of experience and they have thousands of satisfied customers, and they offer real value because when you spend the money, you get a project that is going to last for years to come. They only ever use the highest quality materials. They have their own installation crews. That's important because those crews have years of experience. If you mention me, Debbie Monterey, they'll offer you 20% off your next outdoor project. Give them a call, stop by, or they'll come to you. It's Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best, chesterfieldfence.com.
Dave Murray's weather forecast is sponsored by i3 Broadband. Spring is here. Time to toss out that dusty treadmill and your laggy cable internet. Upgrade to 100% in-home fiber from i3 Broadband. Plus, we're springing forward with our longest price guarantees ever on our gig speed internet services. No data caps, just pure speed. Visit i3broadband.com/radio and start your spring off right.
We have a cold front moving into our warm and moist, juicy atmosphere. So we're looking for a redevelopment of showers and strong thunderstorms mid to late afternoon into the evening. It will be windy and 82 for the high. Now, the best chance for thunderstorms, and again, the severe stuff is not for everybody, but there's going to be severe weather around, will be 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon until about 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening. And then after we get past that, the skies will clear out late tonight, 54 for the low. On Tuesday, mostly sunny and cool, 72, but some spot afternoon thunderstorms are possible on Tuesday. The strong to severe weather will produce some very intense thunderstorm weather, heavy rain, lightning, hail, strong gusty winds of 60 to 80 miles per hour with the possibility of large-scale tornadoes. Again, I want to stress that's not for everybody, but we need to be alert as we get into the late afternoon and evening hours. And I'll keep you up to date. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
the thing that you need in the morning, when you first wake up.
Total Information AM.
I like to be informed with the news and like to know, like in the mornings, I like to know what's going on.
Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman.
It's always smart to know what's going on.
Your morning news and information.
The national and local news.
Weather.
Sports.
I like the traffic reports.
Total Information AM.
I listen to it in the mornings, so it really gets me going.
Total Information AM. Weekdays 5 to 9 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Get inside your Redbirds in the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon. It's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Each year in St. Louis, 10 women are recognized for volunteer leadership that changes lives. They support families, strengthen communities, and create opportunities where they're needed most. Join us Tuesday, May 19th at the Ritz-Carlton for the 2026 Women of Achievement Awards Luncheon. Celebrate their impact and be part of a tradition more than 70 years strong. Reservations available at WOASTL.org. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events. This is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test. This has been a test of the emergency alert system. This was only a test.
Bernie Miklasz on KMOX is sponsored by Stewart's American Mortgage, home of the Bagel Loan, and by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin comfort dealer.
Welcome back, guys. DGS 233. Happy Monday. Before we talk to Bernie, let me just set the table for you once again, let you know how it's going to go, at least through the DGS. First thing I want to tell you, for all of you sports fans who are listening to Bernie and you want to know about the Cardinal game tonight, Cardinal game will be on 104.1 FM. If the weather is bad, then we will have the Storm Center coverage on 11:20 a.m. So it's one of the great things about having an AM signal and an FM signal is you can split these off. So Cardinals, FM, Storm mode, AM, just remember that. We'll be reminding you, but just in case they're both going down at the same time, which it sounds like they're going to. Dave Murray is on standby, literally just waiting to hear from us or us waiting to hear from him. We know that we'll talk to him at the top of the hour at 3. 3:35 is regular time to hit. 4 p.m. we'll talk to him again. We will hand it over to Cardinals pregame at 4:40, the game at 5:40, and between now and then, nobody knows what's going to happen. We're here for you. If the weather gets bad, we'll pop in. We'll let you know. That's the kind of the lay of the land. Hello, Bern.
You guys are doing a great job. And seriously, I've been monitoring this and listening to KMOX, and it's a source of great comfort, security, knowing that I'll have up to minute, reports.
Very nice.
So thank you.
Very
for
kind.
That. Thank you for
means
that.
a lot coming from you, Bern.
Yeah.
So let's talk Cardinals. And while any sweep is something you want to go like, okay, put it in rear view. Let's go face the Pirates, face the Dodgers, forget about it. But it wasn't a terrible series, I didn't think, as a fan. I thought the Cardinals played pretty well. What about you guys?
I thought it was really entertaining, actually. I have a very reasonable view about the whole Cardinal season. I just want to be entertained. I find it very, very interesting when they win or lose because so many of these players individually have so much on the line. I mean, this season was never set up to be about, well, we got to win as much as possible. We're going to go make trades. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. No, it's about determining who's going to be along for the ride beyond 2026. So there's a lot at stake in every single game. And I enjoy watching how the Cardinals are going to individual players and pitchers are going to handle all the different challenges and situations. And listen, they've been getting away with a lot of stuff they probably shouldn't be able to get away with. In other words, when a week ago today, they were 13-8. They were 5 games over 500, even though the bullpen was getting rocked, even though the starting rotation wasn't very good. even though they were winning a lot of close games, which is hard to do. Usually it'll kind of flip on you. And the fact that the team's performance so far, anyway, with runners in scoring position is one of the worst in Cardinals history. So they were sort of able to overcome all that stuff, but that wasn't realistic that it was going to continue. You know, it's just hard to outrun that kind of thing. That's a lot of things working against you. But to their credit, they did. However, I think over the weekend, it was a really entertaining series, really enjoyed it. But I think this 4-game losing streak, it's just a classic example of how reality comes knocking on your door, you know, and you answer it, you're like, uh-oh, you know, but they played well. I mean, what are you going to say, man? We know that this team's got a lot of problems, and they're doing the best they can in handling the problems as far as some of the talent deficiencies.
That's what I find to be interesting, Bern, is, you know, they're competitive for the most part. There have been maybe 3 or 4 games that have completely gotten away. But if you run through the list, most of the games are 2-3 run games at worst. You know, you had 2 1-run losses this weekend, 4-1 loss in the last game at Miami, a 2-run loss against Miami in the other one. So, like, I'm not saying that we're not talking about handing out rose petals for finishing close.
No.
But they're a competitive team despite their flaws, right? I mean, that's kind of the thing. And we've been talking a lot about the pitching, Bern. As of this weekend, you know, you're 27th in Major League Baseball out of 30 teams in ERA. You're 30th in expected ERA, which is impacted by the fact that they're 30th in strikeout rate and they're 28th in hard hit rate. So, you know, letting people put the ball in play is one thing, but when it's getting hit hard, it's going to be a problem. And even with that, you're a game over 500 and you're in the games that you're losing.
Yeah, that's right. And some better timely hitting would go a long way. They would have won some of these close games. The stat that today, when I was fooling around trying to determine how bad the pitching's been, right now their ERA, okay, if it holds up, obviously, you got a long way to go. Right now their staff ERA is 4.87. It would be the worst in a full uninterrupted season, Cardinal season during the expansion era. It would be the worst of, only one was worse, but that was 1994, which was not a completed season. So this would be the worst ERA by a Cardinals team. The expansion era began in 1961.
And this is where my question comes in. We're going to get to see Hunter Dobbins this week, which is going to be fun. But he's not like the next coming of Skeens. He's not a big prospect. He's just another quality piece who probably fits in the 4 or 5 spot in a rotation long term, right? Not a future ace or anything, but a new guy with some stuff, and it'll be fun to get a look at him. But where's the main room for improvement on this? Because McGreevy's been excellent with the results, but some of the underlying stuff is cause for concern. But the results for him have been excellent. So all of what we just gave is despite the fact that he's got a 2.97 ERA and he's not walking anybody. Where can we expect improvement? Is it maybe Leahy just settling in after a period of time? Is it an adjustment from Liberatore? Because this rotation is not going to change that much over the course of the year now that Richard Fitz is down for the year.
Well, when you have your entire rotation so poor, everyone in it so poor at not just the failure to strike people out, but also the really bad whiff swing rate.
Yeah.
And also the hard hit rate. You mentioned those things. There's a bunch of other things. I could go on for 20 minutes. There are some deeply embedded flaws that can be improved to a certain extent, but these pitchers can't change who they are. They are what they are. This is a talent issue. It's a personnel issue. The Cardinals will have a wave of young, hard-throwing power pitchers that will make this team more competitive in terms of the way modern baseball is played. But there's a gap. Those guys are all in the lower levels of the minors. They're not a phone call away because they're not close, they're not close at all to being in the major leagues. But they will be next year, 2 years from now. But there's a real gap. And I mean, it's as simple as that. So everyone keeps looking for all these solutions and they really aren't there. And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just a realistic guy. Now, I think Dustin May has pitched very well his last 3 games.
Yes.
And I hope he continues to do that. I think that's a guy that's got more ceiling. He would be about the only one, though. I'll be honest with you, man. we all love Matthew Libator, but in all candor, he's been the most disappointing starter on their staff. There's no question about it. With his talent and the build up and the kind of the prestige they've given him, his numbers, and this is all stat based, his numbers put him among qualifying major league starters, innings qualified. He is one of the bottom 3 or 4 guys in all of Major League Baseball, and that's very, very disappointing. I wish I had something better to say about that.
And Wheels, you were speaking of bottom 3. You were telling me you did some disturbing research on Victor Scott II.
We talked about it on Friday. Bernie has a great piece up at STL Sports Central that's really breaking down Victor Scott, and I was going a little bit further beyond this year, Bern. Since 2024 started, of all hitters that have 600 plate appearances in the major leagues, he is tied for the 3rd worst hitter in baseball. So the only 2 that are worse. Now that's based on weighted runs created, so it's kind of a catch-all. Other places, in other ways, he might be a little better than that. But Michael A. Taylor and Ke'Bryan Hayes were the only guys with 600 plate appearances from the beginning of 2024 to now. Yeah. Those only 2 guys that are worse than what he's been offensively.
Listen, I'm a stats guy. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think we really needed any numbers there. No. I mean, it's. Listen, I have 2 friends that are major league scouts employed by teams right now. I have another one who's a longtime scout who's retired, but he watches everything. He can't get it out of his blood. They all told me the same thing. Oh, Victor Scott, man, love the guy, love everything about him, but right now he's just not a major league player. And I mean, it sounds cruel, but again, no one's trying to be mean here.
No.
His defense is okay. It's really easy, though, for teams to run on him. Yesterday was the first time he threw anybody out all season. And his stolen base game has kind of collapsed on him. Mm-hmm. He's only 3 for 5 this year. He's got thrown out 3 of his last 4 attempts. So what is it exactly that he does? And I'm not being mean. I'm just being real, as the kids would say. He's got 7 hits this year that touched the outfield grass.
Yep.
They've been like 4 infield hits, 2 bunt hits. He just doesn't come to the plate and rip a line drive single or smash a double down the line. He literally doesn't do any of that. I'm not sure. I know what's going to happen when Nootbaar comes back in 3rd week of May. He's your left fielder. Nathan Church is your center fielder, and Walker is going to be in right field. And at that point, unless Victor Scott does something dramatic, he'll either be the 4th outfielder, or what he needs is to go down to Memphis and really work on things and get a ton of at-bats. I mean, that's the only way out of this. It's not staying up here and failing. That's not helping him.
Hey, guys, how often do players, and I know saying like Victor Scott, every player is unique, but how often do players make it to the bigs? Everyone knows, okay, they're not the greatest hitter, but they're really good at their other tools are great. How often do they find it as opposed to just, this is what I am?
Well, there's some classic examples, and the one that comes to mind, I'm just going to use one. There are other ones, but I don't want to do examples of guys who were awful and then became decent hitters, Like, for example, Mike Schmidt, one of the great 3rd basemen ever. He was terrible early in his career. Terrible. Just awful. And he obviously became a Hall of Fame player. I mean, greatest Philly of all time. So he's one great example. There are guys that do that. There are guys that can sort of pull themselves out of this. But I think Victor Scott's young enough to do it still. Mm-hmm. But listen, he's, as Kevin Wheeler would tell you, there's still some things, fundamentally he's really got working against him. He's got a slow bat. He does not make hard contact. He has not barreled a single pitch this season.
Right.
Wow. I mean,
and for people that aren't sure, that just means like good exit velocity and not beaten right into the ground. Like that means, combination of hitting the ball in the air, a little bit in the air, even a line drive counts, and then how hard you hit it.
He also, we talked about this Friday, he's got a 66% ground ball rate. That's really high. That's okay. Because the idea is like, we'll slap it on the ground, beat out the hits. Well, that's only happened 4 times all season. And the other thing is, for a guy that's a singles hitter, like say a Louis Arias, like a guy like these contact hitters that aren't power hitters, but they get a lot of hits, they don't strike out either. They don't strike out. Victor Scott does not have any extra base capability. He's strictly a singles hitter, and he's not even really good at that because it's got to be like scratch hits. He's striking out like 26% of the time, and his swing and miss rate is terrible. And so my point is, you can't have a guy like that. You know, it's one thing for a power hitter who's going to hit bombs and drive in runs and break games wide open. You will live with a lot of strikeouts. You will live with a lot of swing and miss. But there is no trade-off in this case because you're not getting anything good on the other side of that.
Burton, tell us about Saliga.
I'd be happy to. Thank you. Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin Comfort dealer. It's been taking care of St. Louis families for 100 years. This is the 100th year anniversary. It's an amazing family business. Dan Saliga, my friend, is the owner-operator of the family business, fourth generation. And listen, they've built their reputation. They're still going strong 100 years later because this same family's owned the business and has been in great hands for 100 years. And, you know, my friend Dan Saliga, you know, has been making it bigger and better and stronger than ever. And they have earned more trust. That's what this is all about, man. If you're going to call somebody out, you got a problem with something with your heating, the winter, air conditioning, summer, some other thing, man, it makes you nervous. It makes you scared. It's like, oh my gosh, what kind of repair job am I looking at? What's this going to cost? They come out and you know that they're going to treat you honestly and they're not going to try to talk you into anything. They're not going to try to upsell anything. They're not trying to maybe fast talk you into believe in something that they want you to believe. No, they're the exact opposite because I've said this on KMOX many times. I'm going to say it again. They believe every time they call on you, come to your home, when you call them, they have to earn your trust. They got to do it every time. And that's what Dan Saliga tells all of his people. They have to trust us. We have to earn that trust every single time. That's why they're a great family business. If you want to find out more, including the Priority Club, it's a maintenance program to save you a lot of money. Please just go to SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. Thank you.
Celebrate Cinco de Mayo with Easy Cater, the best way to order great food from favorite restaurants for all your festivities. From April 27th through May 5th, every order placed earns you 1,000 bonus rewards points. From traditional favorites like enchiladas and mole to festive options like a build-your-own taco bar, even breakfast. Chilaquiles, anyone? Easy Cater makes food for Cinco de Mayo a cinch. Order now at EasyCater.com and get 1,000 bonus points on every order with promo code Cinco de Mayo 26. Restrictions apply. See offer details.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Tell you guys about Michael's Flooring Outlet. Mike has been with me for 25 years. As you know, it's about as simple gets because he makes it simple. Like, I remember the first time I met him, like, Dave, look, I buy a product from the manufacturer like Mohawk, Coronet, and then I mark it up like everyone does, you know? And he marks it up less than anybody, so he's going to have the best prices on anything you're looking at. Also, he told me one time, kind of a mistake, which I have capitalized on now for 25 years. He said, I've told my guys at all three stores, if someone comes in from the DGS, you make sure you bend over backwards, you twist like a pretzel, anything you need to do to make that sale, because we don't want anyone going back to Dave and saying that we made it difficult on them. So it's an easy shopping experience. It's an easy negotiating experience, and they are great at installation. I have a big, beautiful hardwood floor, parquet kind of thing in my house that they put in, and we absolutely love it. For all things Michael, go to michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
Each year in St. Louis, 10 women are recognized for volunteer leadership that changes lives. They support families, strengthen communities, and create opportunities where they're needed most. Join us Tuesday, May 19th at the Ritz-Carlton for the 2026 Women of Achievement Awards Luncheon. Celebrate their impact and be part of a tradition more than 70 years strong. Reservations available at WOASTL.org. For more information, go to KMOX.com/events.
KMOX News Time is 2:51. There is a tornado warning which has just been issued by the National Weather Service for northwestern St. Charles County as well as southeastern Warren County. This is until 3:30. This capable of producing a tornado storm over Innsbrook, 6 miles to the south of Wright City. It's moving at a rapid clip, 50 miles per hour. Meteorologist Dave Murray is live with us now. He's also looking at the radar. Dave?
Yeah, Michael, this is actually one of the best indicators of from radar that we've had so far today. And as you mentioned, it looks like the strongest rotation is just to the north and northwest of Innsbrook, and the cell is reaching up into Wright City. And it's not quite at Flint Hill yet. It's not quite at Wentzville, but the little notch that I'm watching is just to the northwest and north of Innsbrook. That's where the best possibility of a possible tornado is located. Again, this is radar indicated. We don't have any surface reports at this point, but if you live in this area, this is the time now to take immediate safety precautions, get to the lowest possible point you can get to in your home or business or school, and stay away from windows. These storms are moving very, very quickly at over 40 miles per hour, so they will not last very long. The motion is primarily to the northeast at this point. So if you live up around Moscow Mills, Old Monroe, and Winfield, that cell could possibly be reaching towards you as we go in. Now, we've just got the latest radar scan, and it looks like it is over Wright City right now, but it also has lost some of the indication of rotation. So, right along 70, Wright City 70 to Forestel. That's the biggest zone of action, but it's not as clear cut as it was just like a minute ago. That's how fast these things change. They go up and down, up and down. But the tornado warning does continue. And if you live in Wright City, Wentzville, Flint Hill, up towards Moscow Mills, and let's toss in Winfield, Old Monroe, and St. Paul. Be aware that this cell is out there, and it's a fairly strong little system. As far as O'Fallon is concerned, you're in the warning, and so is New Melly, but I think most of the action is going to stay to your north at this stage of the game.
Yeah, that
Michael?
notch was pretty evident on the radar just north of Innsbrook, which people have noticed the flurry of tornado warnings that we have had issued, and many of them have been radar indicated, and that did look like that signature that you would see for a tornado above Innsbrook. But then, as you mentioned, the sweep came, and that is not as delineated as it was just a moment ago.
Yeah, it's kind of like right along 70 between Wright City and Forestel right now is probably where there's still a little bit of rotation, but not quite as strong as it had been. And but as a result, the tornado warning will continue here for probably the next half hour or so.
And Interstate 70, of course, if you're on the highway there, look for the next opportunity to pull off and get inside of a Quick Trip or a McDonald's or something.
Yeah, worst case scenario under an overpass too is, it's not the best place. There's never a great place when you're in a car or a truck or something on the highway and you're in the tornado warning, but you're trying to find the safest possible place you can find.
That is meteorologist Dave Murray. Michael Calhoun with you from the newsroom. This is a tornado warning for northwestern St. Charles County and southeastern Warren County. As Dave mentioned, it goes until 3:30. The severe part of this, the most severe part of this, because it is a large chunk of, as we would say, dark colors on the radar. But the worst of it is just crossed through Wright City, heading to Forestel. We're going to check in with Dave at the top of the hour for our news update. But because this is not as structured as it was on the radar just a few moments ago, we'll reiterate a tornado warning for St. Charles County and Warren County until 3:30. But we're going to send it back to programming now, and Dave, we'll talk to you in about 5 minutes.
Beat the spring cleaning rush at Zero Res. This week, buy one room of carpet, get one cleaned for free. Unlimited rooms and whole system air duct cleaning for just $599. Visit ZeroResSTL.com. That's ZeroResSTL.com. Thank you, Dave. I'd like to tell you guys about the doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. 250 doctors go to Ophthalmology Associates. You may want to consider doing the same. To me, it's super, super easy. It's an easy decision to make. It's not going to cost you more money. You will see actual doctors. If you're interested in the LASIK procedure or cataract removal, you will see a medical doctor. No different than an OBGYN or an oncologist. They simply focus on the eyes, eye surgeons. You get such great comprehensive care. If you wear glasses or have contacts, you already know this, but every 12 months, your prescription goes stale. Rather than going to a doc in the box and just like better, worse, A or B, go see a real doctor. Get a real exam for you, your kids, your elderly loved ones. 314-966-5000 or youridoc.com.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
I'm John Morgan at Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Over 35 years, I've seen it all. Car crashes, work injuries, defective products, medical mistakes, lives flipped upside down in an instant. But I've also seen something else, the power of fighting back, the power of winning. Over $30 billion recovered and counting. Size matters, reputation matters, results matter. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
All right, guys, Kevin Wheeler here for FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of KMOX, and it is Derby week. And you can bet the Kentucky Derby on FanDuel, where you bet on all your other favorite sports. And right now, all customers can get a Derby bet reset. So that means you'll get racing bonuses back if your bet doesn't win. So however you want to structure your bet. You want to go for the winner, you want to go for the trifecta, the perfecta, however you want to play with the Derby bet reset. If you're wrong, you get the bonus back in that same amount, and you get to use that again. So it's basically just a mulligan. You get a double shot. And the app's super easy to use. You don't have to be a horse racing expert, Lord knows I'm not, to get in on the Derby Day action. And you can bet the fastest 2 minutes in sports on the FanDuel Sportsbook. Kentucky Derby and the Kentucky Oaks are registered trademarks of Churchill Downs Incorporated. And remember, you have to be 21 or older and present in Missouri to play. You have to have a verified FD Racing account acquired as well. Refund issued as non-withdrawable racing site credit that expires 9 days after receipt. Max refund $10 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply as well. You can see the terms at racing.fanduel.com. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WEBNOW1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
At 3 o'clock, we've got rain and 77 degrees downtown at the Arch, but part of the St. Louis area is under a tornado warning. Part of it has dropped out of that warning. Let's get the latest live from meteorologist Dave Murray. Dave?
Yeah, it's a pretty good cell. It is primarily in western portions of St. Charles County right now and kind of edging up a little bit into Lincoln. But for the most part, the cell that is active is right around Flint Hill and just north of Wentzville. And there's not a real defined circulation, but there's a little bit of a rotation, I think, starting to take place. And let's take that off to the northeast of Flint Hill. Let's keep it to the it's pretty close to St. Paul, but I really want to say that it's off to the northwest of St. Paul and moving towards Chain of Rocks and Old Monroe and Highway 79. And that's the cell that we are watching right now. We have not had any indication of a spotted tornado at this point. It's radar indicated, but that's the strongest storm that we've really seen all day long. So it's certainly worth keeping an eye on.
No, it does kind of have the feeling as you look out the windows downtown, Dave, that the sun might peek out. That would be bad news as we expect more rounds of this to roll through.
Yeah, the tornado watch for the area is in effect till 9 o'clock tonight. Storms go all the way back to just to the south of Kansas City. So the atmosphere is kind of primed. The more sun we see, the more active it could become. We've been talking about this for a couple of hours. The one zone that I think is really going to explode tonight is southeast Missouri and southern Illinois. That is a potential very dangerous situation there, but that would be to our south. I still think there's a boundary that's going to try to set up around the St. Louis area, but at the same time, we've seen enough rain and enough clouds that we may have tapped down the atmosphere just a touch. But it's certainly worth watching until this cold front comes through, and that's not until about 9 o'clock tonight.
Meteorologist Dave Murray, thank you so much. Again, just to recap, that tornado warning remains in effect until 3:30 for northwestern St. Charles County. And the St. Charles County Council has moved tonight's scheduled county council meeting. It was going to be tonight. It will be tomorrow with the work session at 6 and the meeting at 7. City of St. Louis offices closed an hour ago. The Gateway Arch and Old Courthouse also closed an hour ago. St. Charles County Police report power lines down at 94 and Meadowview. Avoid that area if you can. Pulling up the live view of the Ameren outage map, looks like about 5,000, just under 5,000 customers on the Missouri side are without service. Pretty fairly distributed from Afton through Mid-County up to North County, Maryland Heights, and not as many in the St. Charles County area.
CBS News special report. Cole Allen of Torrance, California is now facing 3 charges in Saturday's White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting, 1 floor above the ballroom. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche.
The first count is attempted assassination of the President of the United States. This count is punishable by up to life in prison. The second count is interstate transportation of a firearm to commit a felony. This is punishable by up to 10 years in prison. And the third count is discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence, which is punishable by a mandatory minimum term of imprisonment of 10 years, a maximum of life.
U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro says there will be more charges as the investigation continues. 1 injured officer has been released from the hospital. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
Those who constantly falsely label and slander the president as a fascist, as a threat to democracy, and compare him to Hitler to score political points are fueling this kind of violence.
CBS News special report. I'm Jennifer Kuiper.
Let's get an update of the St. Louis Business Index now. To Stifel we go. Scott Bedell. Afternoon, Scott.
Good afternoon, Michael. Good afternoon, everyone. This is an important week for the financial markets. The 5 largest companies in the United States report earnings this week, along with a Federal Reserve meeting on Wednesday. A mixed trading session today, however, as the Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 62 points, or just a little bit over 0.1%, to 49,168. The Standard & Poor's 500 index gained 0.1% at 7,173, while NASDAQ up 0.2%, closing at 24,887. Locally, the Bloomberg St. Louis index just about unchanged at 1,718. Checking on some stocks of local interest. Commerce Bank gained 0.9% at $51.02. Stifel Financial added 0.75% at $77.78. Centene up 4% at $43.51. On the downside, Belden Corporation fell 2% at $131.66, while Cass Financial lost a little less than 4%, closing at $47.37. For KMOX, this has been Scott Bedell from Stifel Financial, member SIPC and New York Stock Exchange. For more information on our firm, please explore our website at stifel.com.
We've got a stalled vehicle, 44 going west at Arsenal. That's in the right lane. We've also got a stall 170 south at Page on the right side. An emergency vehicle, St. Charles 94 west at Sherman Drive on the right shoulder there. 44 west at Arsenal, just showing on the map there.
Tonight, scattered evening showers and thunderstorms, 54 degrees Tuesday, mostly sunny and cool, but a couple of spot afternoon storms are possible Tuesday, and 72 degrees. Scattered showers and a couple of thunderstorms Tuesday night, then Wednesday and Thursday, sunny and 68. Now, still questions of exactly where these storms will fire as we get into the afternoon. The prime time is going to be 4 p.m. until about 9 p.m. tonight. That's the line, that's the cold front that will be coming through, and we'll be looking for thunderstorms ahead and along that front. Not everybody is going to see severe weather, but where it does happen, you can certainly expect the works. Very heavy rain, lightning, strong gusty winds of 60 to 80 miles per hour, and the possibility of some strong tornadoes, though they will tend to be a little bit on the isolated side. So again, not for everybody, but we really have to pay attention to the weather as we get after 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Sponsored by the Missouri History Museum's Route 66 Centennial Festival, April 30th through May 3rd. Don't miss the Route 66 Festival at the Missouri History Museum, April 30th through May 3rd. Music from Sweetie and the Toothaches, a classic car show, neon display, kids' crafts, and more. Schedule at mohistory.org/festival. Live look at the radar right now showing we've got heavy rain and conditions around St. Paul, just to the east of Josephville and to the northeast of Lake St. Louis and Darden Prairie. And there is a tornado warning that remains in effect until 3:30 for northwestern St. Charles County, but the storm is moving relatively quickly. Dave Murray told us that the notch that indicated a potential tornado, that's why the warning was issued, radar indicated, not anything seen on the ground by a trained spotter, that had lost a lot of its structure on the radar. But this tornado warning has been dropped for Warren County. It continues until 3:30 for northwestern St. Charles County. And taking a look at the radar on, or our live cameras rather, along I-70, that stretch from Wentzville through Lake St. Louis. Moderately heavy traffic there. It is somewhat dark, but does not look like there's any kind of an issue with the weather there or any kind of a traffic incident. Right now, downtown at the Arch, we've got clouds, some light rain. It's 77 degrees. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. 104.1 FM and 1120 AM, and that is important because we're expecting some further weather, some further storms coming up later in the afternoon and evening. There's Cardinal baseball tonight. We will hand it off to Matt Pauley at 4:40. At that point, FM is on the Cardinals radio network, and it stays there. So the game will be on 104.1 FM in its entirety tonight, regardless of what happens with the weather. But 11:20 AM will be dedicated to weather coverage. So if we do go into storm mode, storm center, whatever you want to call it, you will be able to find that all evening on 11:20 AM, as you have for about 100 years now. Dave Murray is going to be with us at 3:35 for his normal hit, again at 4 p.m. and with us right now. So, Dave, Maureen texted me 20 minutes or so from Darden Prairie and said, oh, here we go. It's hitting, and it's sunny here, and I guess that's just the way it is all over town, right?
That's the way it is. There's one cell that just kind of has popped, and that's the one we've been talking about that's got that tornado warning on it. The heaviest weather is basically right along 79 from about St. Paul up to Old Monroe. Again, there's not a clear-cut indication of a tornado there, but there has been some rotation, certainly not getting any ground reports of anything at that point. That's moving off to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So right along 79 is the prime area. could almost take it up to Winfield, but I really like between Old Monroe and St. Paul. And if you live in Brussels or Batchtown, that's certainly moving your way. Will it hold together? That's hard to say. Otherwise, we have this tornado watch that's in effect until 9 o'clock tonight. The real area of concern, as I have talked about really for the last several hours, is southeast Missouri, southern Illinois. Storms are starting to pull together around Cape Girardeau. I know that's way, way to our south, but that may become the real hot zone of thunderstorms as we get through the afternoon. But can't put this thing to bed until probably about 9 o'clock tonight.
Okay. This is our first chance to do anything light. Dave, I have a topic here I think you may enjoy. Want to stick with us?
Sure.
Okay. I received an email from a female listener. She's 52, and it started out, please let me first assure you that my husband is not mentally disabled in any way. That's always a good start. And she goes on to tell me the story and looking for a ruling. In fun, she's not like worried about him, but she's like, let me just check. Her husband is her age. They were high school sweethearts. They've been married since they were teenagers or young 20s. And she said, my husband refuses to go to his doctor without me. And he pretty much went from his mom taking him to the doctor to me taking him to the doctor. That's why she said he's not mentally disabled anyway. And she said, it's beginning to really bother me. And when I bring it up, he just says, I don't know anything. I'm not sure what I'm taking. I don't know what I eat. And she's like, it's been like 30 years of marriage, but it's kind of getting to me. So she wondered if the guys on the show were the same.
No.
No.
I personally, now I don't mind Janice coming to a doctor with me, but for the most part, I want to see the doctor. I want to have a serious talk of whatever problem there might be or not problem. And then if it's a serious problem, then, hey, let's sit down, all three of us, and talk about it.
Yeah. That doesn't make any, I mean, for the basic stuff, like if you're going in after a test shows something weird.
No, if you're diagnosed
totally
with
normal. Yeah,
cancer,
totally normal. Right.
Absolutely.
No, she's saying that
like your annual
she does
physical.
it like a mommy.
Yeah, I'm not.
How can you not know what you're taking?
You know what you do? If you don't want to write it down, which you could, take a picture of the prescription bottles with your phone and bring your phone with you. There's so many solutions. This is just, I mean, honestly, I don't know what else goes on. There could be anxiety. There could be other things, not that don't count as being disabled in any way. But like, these are really solvable issues. I don't know what I ate. Write it down. I don't know what I did. I mean, like, take a picture.
Rachel, ladies' perspective?
Don't make your wife or your mom. That's just rude.
I mean, so is he like not answering these questions himself?
She said that she can't remember him ever going to the doctor without her.
I don't see
And that
it.
she does the talking.
All right. I mean,
Yeah, that's silliness.
I guess so, but there's also like, haven't you ever heard of people go to the doctor's office and then they walk out, they're like, I don't even remember what we talked about because for whatever reason they're
Another
nervous.
set of ears, right?
Yeah, so that's like, they say like with your elderly parent or something, like it's good for you to go with them because then you can sit there and kind of take notes
Advocate,
while they're talking to the doctor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see it as a huge deal. I think if it was like a husband complaining about like his wife wanted him to come with her to every doctor's appointment, people would be like, that's mean. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think if Kurt wanted me to come to the doctor with him, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. You need some support.
For 30 years?
I mean, how many times are we going?
I mean, at least once a year.
That's really not that big of a deal to me. Like,
Yeah.
for me to be
Here's
like,
the solution to this is, and when Janice broke her elbow, this is the first doctor that has ever done this. Of course, I was there because it's kind of a serious thing.
Right.
And he said, turn your phone on, video the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because we're going to
You'll
talk
remember
about
it,
some
yeah.
stuff. I'm going to show you stuff how to rebandage in 24 hours, 36 hours or whatever. And now doctors will use AI to record basically what's going on, or they'll take notice. I always say, do you mind if I record this? And I would say the majority say, no, not at all.
Yeah.
Because then you can go home and your spouse, hey, what happened? Well, here, take a look at the video. This is what happened.
Yeah, there's so many ways to this. Almost every place now, every healthcare company has a website that you can just go to and it'll look at your last appointment. And if you forgot something, typically there are notes there. There are all kinds of things that, like what Dave's talking about. They'll use AI to transcribe the conversation, so you'll even have those notes available to you. It's not that hard, man. It just feels like he doesn't want to do it.
I mean, it seems like he wants her with him, which, I mean, I guess if you don't want to do it, it would be annoying.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't look at the situation and go, like, wow, this is horrible. Like, I think it's probably nice for some couples to do stuff
So
like
this
that.
guy's mom took him to the doctor all the way up until he was married?
Well, she didn't say that factually. She just said, it seems like between me and his mom,
okay.
he's not been to the doctor by himself.
Gotcha.
Andrew, you're very quiet on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with Rachel. I'm not super bothered by it. I mean, if it's, I guess maybe, I don't know. I have a lot of medical stuff. I don't, but my wife does, and I don't go with her to all of those. But if she wanted me to, I would, and if I could, you know what I mean. Like if he's got issues with it or something, or if it makes him nervous, or if it scares him, and then the other person's like, yeah, I don't really care. I don't mind going.
Brian M. says, that dude needs to grow up. And Paul Charsley says, must be interesting during the proctology exam.
I mean, we don't need to be, I don't want to make it out like, I don't want to necessarily be mean to the guy, but at some point you've got to stop putting that on someone else.
Did she email you because
person.
she doesn't want to do? Like, is she airing him out?
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
In
she
other
doesn't
words,
want to.
She doesn't want to, and she wants to know if she's wrong, essentially.
Yeah, she was looking for backup that this isn't normal.
It's not. I'm not saying it's the craziest thing in the world, but I would say that if you asked 100 guys that question, you might get that answer yes back from one or two, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone else that's like that. I don't have a friend or a family member that's like, I will only go to the doctor with my wife, or I will only go to the doctor with my husband. I don't know anybody that does that.
And Brian says, Rachel, don't even start doing that with Kurt. That's not
He
what you
doesn't want to. I was just using it as an example.
Yeah. I just want to make sure
I want to be
everyone
very
knew.
clear.
Don't
He
set
has
that
never
precedent.
asked me to come to the doctor with him.
Don't want to hurt our boy Kurt.
Rachel's just saying she would be nice. Is what she's saying.
I have a difficult time imagining him asking me to do that, but if he did, I would say yes. Because, again, it's like, all right, I get why it would be. It seems like maybe there's a subtext here where she's doing a lot for this man all of the time,
Could be.
and she's just kind of over.
Well, I mean, she
the
says, like,
doctor
he says
thing.
he doesn't know what he eats.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, just put yourself in that person, in her shoes, one way or the other. It doesn't have to, man or woman. If your partner is always putting everything on you for things that should be about them,
yeah,
that's kind of a problem.
Like, how big of a problem? All right, thank you, Dave. We'll talk to you in a few minutes.
Okay.
Tell you guys about my friend Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. And I feel like I just fill this live with fluff, and then I tell you the deal. And when I tell you the deal, it's like, oh, why do you need to start with the deal? So I'm going to do that here. The deal is that no one does what Stewart does vis-a-vis mortgages, and he makes it such that you pay less with him than anyone else. That thing is, most places employ commission salespeople. They bring in a lot of business, write a lot of loans. Worth it for them. They pay them the commission. They go about their way. Stewie doesn't use commission salespeople. He and his son Jordan originate every loan. This is more work for them, but they save money. Rather than pocketing the money, they decided years ago to create the bagel loan. Bagel, because the bagel looks like a zero, because you pay zero fees. That no one can touch. And one of my listeners the other day, by the way, contacted their lender, and they told them, if you're working with Stewie, we can't give you better terms. And she ended up closing with Stewie within 10 days. I'm going to give you a cell phone, whether you are hot to go on a new mortgage, refinancing, debt consolidation, original loan, or just like for future reference, you'd like to know, this is a cell phone. Call or text anytime. 314-324-4440. 324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS 226715.
It is not hard to destroy a college. Last season, the podcast Campus Files brought you stories of fraternity drug rings, stolen body parts, campus cults, and more.
And now Campus Files is back for another season.
There's a guy screaming into his phone. He's like, I just saw Charlie Kirk get assassinated right in front of me.
Every week is a new episode and a new story.
It was so chaotic. It's almost like a university under siege.
Listen to and follow Campus Files, available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Guys, Kevin Wheeler for Game Day Men's Health. You can find them at GameDayMen'sHealth.com. And if you don't feel the way that you want to, go to the website and get the process started. Set up the initial consultation. So for me, I went in about 10 months ago. When I first went in, what my problem was, it was pretty simple. Like, I just didn't feel good. My legs were heavy. Workout recoveries were hard. Sleepier than you'd like to be, maybe getting tired in the middle of the day for no good reason. And when we went through the consultation, did a blood test and realized, okay, your testosterone's low. We have a solution for that, the TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. And ever since then, I've been the levels that I should be at, the levels I was at 10, 15 years ago, and when I felt 10 or 15 years younger. And it's the same, I get that same benefit now every single day. And it is custom for me. The dosages can change. It's not one size fits all. You won't be on the same program as I am. And maybe TRT is not for you at all. They have the same types of individualized plans for medical weight loss. And by the way, they have their own pharmacies, so you get great prices on GLP-1s and things along those lines. They have the same process for ED treatments. They have the same process if you're looking into peptides. They have all of these things covered incredibly well. Everything is overseen by board-certified medical professionals. They move efficiently. They respect your time. And again, it's very individualized. It's not one size fits all. Hormone optimization and medical things, they shouldn't be one size fits all. Everybody's different. If you want to feel better, go to GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's where you can start to get back to the top of your game with Game Day Men's Health.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I was throwing a party for the twins and had custom invites and a banner printed at Staples. And that's when I saw Party City is now at Staples.
Party City? No way!
Yep. So now Staples has all your printing needs and everything you need for a party.
Everything times 2.
Yeah, and now at Staples, save 40% on custom cards, photo gifts, wrapping paper, banners, and more.
Big news! Party City is now at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or on the app. In 613, exclusions apply.
KMOX News Time is 3:23. Tornado warning for St. Louis County, St. Louis City, St. Charles County, St. Clair County, and Madison County. And let's go live now to Calhoun, Jersey, Madison, St. Charles, and St. Louis County until 4. Let's go live to meteorologist Dave Murray right now. This is located near St. Peter's at the moment.
Yeah, it's north of St. Charles, and it's pretty close to 370, and it's got a pretty interesting look to it. It's not quite a hook echo yet, but there could be some signs that it could be developing into that, and that's why this warning has all of a sudden come up. And it's moving also to the northeast at a very fast pace. But that is an interesting notch-looking thing to me that I think we need to pay attention to if you're around St. Peter's, especially north of St. Peter's, but not a lot north of St. Peter's and north of St. Charles. Let's take some real safety precautions here. It's kind of along Highway B. This is the time, again, no ground truth to this. It's a radar indicated spin, but this is the area you need to take some immediate safety precautions, lowest possible point, and stay away from windows. And it is primarily north of 370 at this stage of the game. So we'll keep an eye on that, but that's the thing we need to pay attention to here, at least for the next 15 to 30 minutes. There's also been a little uptick in lightning around that. That's always one of the signs we look for.
And so where did you say that that notch that you see on the radar, which is likely the indication that prompted this warning?
Yeah, it's north of St. Peter's, north of 70, and a little north of 370. So it's kind of out there. There's not a lot in that part, a lot of farmland, but that's where the notch is at least trying to kind of spin itself together. It's in between C and B. And so that's, again, kind of have to let this try to spin out here a little bit and see if it's going to pull itself together. But are seeing a real increase in lightning activity out to the east of that notch, and that's always of interest to me. Again, it's north of St. Charles, it is north of St. Peter's, and north of 70, but just a little bit north of St. Peter's. But it's kind of moving away from you, and that's a good sign.
And in that area right now is Fox 2's Chris Higgins. Let's take a listen to him.
I was actually just talking with one of a longtime St. Louis storm chaser, Tom Stolze. He's here with us taking pictures. Here comes the rain. It's catching up with us. There is some uplift into this zone of the hook that's coming in, and obviously we're getting rained on right now. So we're going to be moving here shortly because the hook is literally about to come right on top of us, and it is looking a little more structured as it comes over our head. This is Lakeside 370 Park in St. Peter's, and this is, if you've ever wondered what the hook looks like visually from the ground.
Says Chris Higgins, Dave, who is at looks like the Amazon warehouse in St. Charles County.
Yeah. The hook. There's no question there's a bit of a hook. It's kind of diffused a little bit here in the last minute or so, but it's still good enough. Again, it's the most dominant looking thing we've had all day long as far as a possibility of a tornado, and that's why that warning has gone up. But if you primarily are north of 70, north of St. Charles now, St. Peter's kind of getting out of it here in the next minute or two. But it is north of 370 and north of St. Charles right now and headed off to the northeast. Still a little uptick in the lightning, so that keeps the interest going.
And so that explains why it's North St. Louis County. Really, we're looking at, I think, Calhoun and Jersey counties, though.
Right, and that, you kind of project that northeast movement. If it holds together, the cell itself is pretty intense. Some real heavy rain in Grafton right now, up through about Jerseyville, and that is moving towards Alton and Godfrey and up to about Shipman. But that's going to take a little time to get there, and we'll just have to see how well it holds together or not. But a lot of times in this, you get a notch or a hook forming. It's not the parent, it's with the parent storm, but it's not the gut of the heavy rain and the lightning. It kind of extends outward from that. That's what we're seeing right now. So again, north of St. Charles is the prime zone. But again, no ground truth. We're not getting any sightings or any reports of anything or any funnels or anything like that. But at least it's radar indicated, and it's worth, again, really taking notice here and safety precautions.
Yeah, just so again, to reiterate before we hand it back, Dave, this notch, it looks to be directly north of the city of St. Charles, Portage to Sioux, perhaps, in the path, and this area is under a tornado warning until 4 o'clock, which includes the counties of southeastern Calhoun, southeastern Jersey, northwestern Madison, northeastern St. Charles, north central St. Louis. This is a tornado warning until 4 o'clock.
Right. And rightfully so. This one, I'm sold on that it should be a warning at this stage of the game, and we'll just have to see how well it pulls together. It would be nice to get some confirmation of something going on there, but we do not have that yet.
Yeah, so far this has all been radar indicated. All of these tornado warnings that have been issued today, I don't believe we've had a sighting from a trained spotter. And so, Dave, when you say that this is one, people may have heard many warnings, thought, well, nothing's happened so far. I think I'll be fine. Maybe I'll go to the window and see if I see anything. You're saying this is one to go down to the basement for.
Yeah, this is at least the best signature that we've seen all day long. It's losing some of its signature a little bit, but it's still there, and it's still worth, again, paying attention to. This is and folks who live in that part of the county, you've got to be seeing these dark clouds, and it looks pretty intense. And that's the sign. If you're hearing thunder and lightning off in the distance, that's get down to the lowest possible point away from windows and ride this thing out. It's not going to last very long.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Storm Center, again, a tornado warning for Calhoun, Jersey, Madison, St. Charles, and North St. Louis County until 4 p.m. Storm moving at 45 miles an hour. Dave Murray, we'll hear from you in just a bit. Thank you so much. We'll throw it back to programming for now.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Americans demanded border security, and House Republicans delivered. According to the Department of Homeland Security, for 10 consecutive months, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has reported 0 illegal aliens released at the border. I'm proud to have worked with the Trump administration to secure our southern border and uphold our immigration laws, and will keep fighting to advance strong policies that protect Missourians and keep America safe.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Tell you guys about my friend Mark Cantor, attorney at law, and I have never, if you've been with me for 25 years, you know this, I've never sold my live clients by crapping on the competition. I think it's cheap. I've never done it. But the fact that I'm a lawyer is special to me in this category, and I just can't help my complete disgust at so many of the plaintiffs' attorneys out there who are just ass clowns. You know, at this point, all they are professional marketers. I saw one the other day where they did like a skit, a full-on skit. It's like, boys, what are we doing? Remember who you are and what you are. Mark Cantor stands out, really stands out these days because he's old school. He looks old school. He talks old school. He thinks about the law old school like a true practitioner. Not like someone who's writing a skit for his next television ad. So, priorities. What are these attorneys' priorities? For Mark Cantor, it is you, your case, your family, your medical care. Once again, he was named to the Lawyers Weekly Top 10 Power List out of thousands of plaintiffs' attorneys within the sound of my voice. So bottom line, if you or someone you care about is injured, just know that if there is a responsible party, they're probably insured, and they are moving instantly on this case. And you should too. 314-628-9999, CantorInjuryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
NeoVitan began with one doctor's mission to help others feel their best. After years of caring for patients, Dr. Ken Ribicki, a St. Louis physician, created NeoVitan, a line of multivitamins designed with quality, safety, and everyday wellness in mind. Each formula is made in the U.S. using the finest domestic and international ingredients to support real people living real lives. Discover the difference today with NeoVitan, available at Schnucks, Deerbergs, and neovitan.com. NeoVitan, trusted nutrition from St. Louis for St. Louis.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX 334. Dave Murray joins us at his regularly appointed time, courtesy of the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk. So, Dave, that last one sounded very interesting.
Yeah, it's still, and it has a really interesting look to it. It's not as clear cut as it was 15 minutes ago, but it is in St. Charles County for the most part. It's north of St. Charles. It's north of 70. And the Portage de Sioux, Elsa, Grafton, folks who live in that area, it's not quite there yet, though. It's raining very hard in those locations. So this thing, if it produces anything at all, it'd probably be a rain-wrapped tornado. You probably wouldn't see it at all. But this is the area. It is almost right along 94 right now, north of 70. So that's an area of concern anyway. It's just kind of got a funky look to it. It's not as clear cut. It's not like, ooh, that gets my attention kind of look. But yeah. It is the strongest look we've had all day out of the couple of storms that have gone through.
Dave, I know that you've been very candid so far that it's difficult to predict, and we think something's going to pop up, but we're not sure what, we're not sure where. In general, Do you envision the rest of the evening being sort of pop, 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 or one big line like we've seen before?
It all depends on how this plays out. The cold front is coming in. The cold front has passed Kansas City, but it's not at Columbia yet. It's got a ways to go. And the progression of things, you would think ahead of that front, you're going to get the pop, pop, pop kind of things, sometimes growing into supercells, sometimes just run-of-the-mill thunderstorms. And then a squall line could pull together right with the front. However, in the St. Louis area, 9 times out of 10, those fronts don't do that. They pop some stuff. The squall line gets going, especially between St. Louis and Columbia. And then as it gets into the urban environment, it tends to fall apart. So that's something that we also watch. It gets people all the time who haven't lived around here and experienced what these things do. The city plays a big part in these storms because the city is warmer than the surrounding area, but it's also drier because of all the concrete and asphalt.
Yeah, I remember as a kid hearing that the Arch split weather systems.
Yeah, it's the urban environment, but the Arch is a great name to throw on it.
Yeah.
It's like the supermoon.
There you go. Any more to talk about today? I know we'll be talking about it throughout the rest of the show, or you want to move on to the rest of the week?
Yeah, the rest of there's another secondary cold front coming through late tomorrow. Tomorrow's primarily a dry day, but there could be a couple of spot showers and thunderstorms late on Tuesday. A better chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms Tuesday night. It does not look like a severe outbreak at all, but it really reinforces the northwest flow. Wednesday and Thursday look beautiful, sunny skies, but highs of 68 degrees. So it kind of gets us more into that April feel instead of 80 plus.
Yeah. Not bad. Look forward to it. Rach, want to do some headlines?
Yeah, Elon Musk and Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, are headed to court in a showdown over artificial intelligence. So this could sway the balance of power in AI. Elon Musk is filed in August of 2024 a lawsuit that's now going to be decided by a jury. And U.S. District Judge Yvonne Gonzalez Rogers in Oakland, California. This civil lawsuit accuses Sam Altman and his top lieutenant at OpenAI, Greg Brockman, of double-crossing Elon by straying from the San Francisco company's founding mission to be an altruistic steward of a revolutionary technology. Elon alleges they shifted into just a for-profit money-making company behind his back. OpenAI has brushed off those allegations and is basically saying, it's sour grapes. Elon will get over it. It'll be really interesting to see the details that come out, like, okay, so why does Elon feel this way? Why are these folks just brushing it aside? I'm excited to see how all of this plays out.
So let me give you a little bit of real world to this. I only practiced for 10 years, but I was fortunate enough to do a lot of big cases. And I can tell you that the judge and the attorneys, and especially the jury, are likely to look at this and even say to you, because I used to speak to juries afterwards when we were allowed to, and hey, what did you think of this? What did you think of that? I guarantee you they're going to look at this and say, this is just a couple of big overgrown babies getting their feelings hurt and trying to use the U.S. legal system to settle a playground fight. Right? I mean, when you have unlimited resources and I get mad at Kevin, I'm like, oh, then Andrew, my lawyer, then you just about like, God, come on.
Dave, I think you need to get another lawyer if you're going to go with Andrew.
Okay, that's solid advice. That's solid advice. I got Rachel sitting right here.
Okay, good.
But no, just to let you know that in the real world, the real people in the legal system see through most of the BS. So. Go ahead, Rach.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. So originally, OpenAI had like a capped profit type thing, and that's how they, that's how they're going to keep their integrity.
Yeah.
They did get rid of that, and now there's the potential for like unlimited returns for the stockholders.
Man, have you guys seen this? Speaking of AI,
or investors rather. Sorry,
the data centers. Where is it? What state is it? Where they're doing like, crap. I should know what I'm talking about before I open my mouth. But there's somewhere down south where they're building data centers in this small town that would be the equivalent of if they built 51 Walmarts. And I just think, like,
You mean energy-wise?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that, I heard data center for the first time maybe last year, maybe this year. And then you're like, what is it? That doesn't sound good. I just think that's going to be such a big part of our future.
Yeah.
It's a huge deal here in St. Louis.
Yeah, it's not being let go, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, a baby came in for a landing mid-flight on a Delta plane. The mom, identified only as Ashley, went into labor. It was a Friday night Delta flight to Portland. And, mid-flight, had her little baby.
If there was no doctor on the flight, would you guys be likely to step up and try to help deliver?
I mean, if I could assist in some way, I would be happy to, but I'm not going to be like, I got this, folks.
Yeah. I'm not going to jump to the front and be like, what can I do?
Yeah.
It would be a little reluctant to be like, I'll help, but I don't know too much about what I'm doing.
I'll hold mom's hand and
Yeah.
try to get send
That's what I did
positive
when my daughter was born. I just
affirmations.
held hand and said, you're going to be okay. Breathe.
Yeah.
Breathe. I'm sure it was really helpful.
And that's what you're still doing.
I know. It's crazy.
Maryland shoppers will soon be free from dynamic pricing at grocery stores. We were just talking about dynamic pricing at the grocery store, I think last week, but Maryland is now the first state to just completely ban dynamic pricing when it comes to shopping for your groceries.
That seems fair. That seems fair.
Let's see. King Charles, he's carrying on with
I
his
swear to
trip.
God, I thought you meant Burger King.
Oh, that king.
Yeah. Oh, the fake king.
The first state visit of King Charles to the U.S. is still on. I guess there was some concern that it might not happen because of what happened at the White House Correspondents' Dinner over the weekend, security threats, and so on and so forth. But they say the whole trip is going to proceed as planned.
I have never been a royal hater at all. I've always found them pretty interesting. I think Wheeler's probably the first real royal hater I ever met. But last night I was watching TikTok, as I'm off to do, and it was a video of Queen, the band, minus Freddie, meeting the Queen. And of course, Queen, the band are like, oh my God, and the Queen's like, so you play the guitar, and I thought to myself, you know what? Queen, the band has done so much more than you've ever done. They've actually accomplished things risking their own, you know what I'm saying? It's like, the Queen.
Yeah, they weren't.
Was she mean to
born
them?
into it. No. She was just being the queen.
I was just thinking, like, this is so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, people who have actually accomplished something are just pooping their pants because they're meeting someone who is just
because
born
someone was
into it.
born to the right family, which is just.
I get what you're saying.
Well, I know Wheels watches The Crown, too.
I do love the show.
It's a great show, and they make the case for the royals by saying, like, hey, so we exist to provide a sense of stability to our citizens. They can look to us and be comforted by like, hey, some things never change. It's a great family institution. But they can't even live up to that. Like they have so much drama.
Mm-hmm.
So then the reason they give for why they should exist is completely moot.
Right. That's the thing is the reason I like that show is because it kind of puts that out there as a false pretense.
Yeah.
And shows you the real story. Now you can feel sorry for some of the human beings, and because they deal with regular human being
They're
things.
people.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're not special because your ancestors killed more people than other people's ancestors. Because that's how you gained power back in the day.
Well, there was a story, I had it on the sheet actually. Apparently, whenever William becomes king, the scuttlebutt is he's going to immediately strip Harry and Meghan's children of their titles.
Meaning he'll be the last, or just only his.
Because he's got a son.
It's basically, I think it's so they don't have to like pay for anything when it comes to Lilibet and Archie. And they just want to be like, oh, you know what? You guys left the family, so you don't get any. Right. And it's like I see both sides because I see why that hurts Prince Harry because he's like, yeah, I'm a part of this family and you're telling me my kids don't matter to this family. So I have compassion for that. But then on the other hand, it's like, but yeah, you're not even a royal anymore. So why should the people of Great Britain have to pay for you? Like, I see it both ways, but ultimately it comes down to like Wheel said, the whole thing is just fake. So it's just like
it's also the same family that protected Prince Andrew for how many decades?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to tell me they just recently heard about his connections to Epstein?
They're like, oh man, we got to do
wasn't
something
until
about
that
this.
stuff. It wasn't until that stuff becomes public that they do anything about it. Because what they care about is the image, not about what's right and wrong, not about what's best for their country or what's best for their citizens, but what they can do to save face when something bad happens.
Well, welcome to America, Prince Charles from the DGS.
Yeah,
do Harry
eat a big sandwich?
Do Harry and Meghan live here?
I don't know.
In America?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think they live in California.
Then there you go. Then the people of Britain shouldn't have to pay for them. They don't even live in Britain. I mean, I feel that way about the king. If the king came over here and started living in Texas, I'd be like, well, then you probably shouldn't have to pay for him in Britain.
Yeah, what if he and Camilla moved to Bethalto? All right, Dave, we'll talk to you at the top of the hour.
You got it.
Tell you guys about my friends over at BioBalance Health. And here's what I just want to spend the whole time talking about this, how cool they are. And why does that matter? Because it's fairly understandable if you feel sheepish going in to get testosterone replacement therapy, especially for a guy. And I just mean that because women, in my estimation, have a lot more medical stuff you guys have to go through and all the stuff. And for us, it's more like, hey, stuff stopped working. Me not like, what me do. So Dr. Maupin is great at making you feel comfortable, explaining the mechanism of why, whether you're a man or a woman, why things have stopped working or don't work as well, or maybe your mood is really sour and you just don't feel like you have energy anymore. And the pellets, I can tell you, have really helped me for 7 years. My buddy Trish Gazelle's been getting them for about the same, maybe a year more than me. She reports the same thing. Right next door, BioBalance again. Maybe you don't want to talk about getting Botox, like I openly do. That's cool. Like, no one's going to tell anyone anything. No one's going to really notice anything because everything's very subtle and temporary. But I promise you, your face will look better. For all things Dr. Maupin, go to BioBalanceHealth.com.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, the highways are looking great this afternoon. A lot of folks maybe left work early because they knew the bad weather was coming, but there really are no issues on the interstates. Just one trouble spot right now that we're dealing with, and this is from the weather that moved through earlier, that when they had that tornado warning out in the Innsbruck area, westbound 70, they had heavy downpours. Westbound 70, the left lane is closed right now due to flooding. I don't know if it's a clogged storm drain or just a low spot, but there's a lot of standing water in that left lane, westbound 70, just before you get to Wright City. The jam goes back to Forestell, and it's solid on westbound 70. Of course, that's only 2 lanes through that area. But like I said, the rest of these highways look great. We do have a little bit of a delay. Northbound 55, it was a jam. Now it's just a slowdown, approaching 143 for maybe a mile at most. I think it's less than that. So we had an incident there. It looks like they may have cleared it, or again, it could be weather, but just a little heavy there. Otherwise, you're good to go on these other interstates right now. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Don't miss a baseball showdown at Busch Stadium when Shohei Ohtani and the LA Dodgers roll into the Lou, May 1st through the 3rd. Kick off the weekend with Friday Night Live and a must-have short-sleeve hoodie giveaway. Saturday brings a Mason Wynn bobblehead celebrating his Gold Glove Award. Then Sunday features a sleek Blade collar shirt giveaway. Big names, big matchups, and big giveaways all weekend long. Tickets at Cardinals.com/promotion.
This is Mason Wynn. Get your tickets at Cardinals.com.
The 1-2, and that's grounded up the middle. Diving play, Mason Wynn to his feet. He throws, he got him!
What's up, Cardinals fans? Mason Wynn here. On Saturday, May 2nd, when we face the Dodgers, you can take home the Mason Wynn Gold Glove bobblehead presented by the Shane Company. It's got my chain, my first gold glove, my whole look, just how I rock it. Plus, a few rare all-gold baubles will be randomly mixed in for 500 lucky fans. This is one you won't want to miss. Get your tickets now at Cardinals.com/promotion.
Beat the spring cleaning rush at Zero Res. This week, buy 1 room of carpet, get 1 cleaned for free. Unlimited rooms and whole system air duct cleaning for just $599. Visit ZeroResSTL.com. That's ZeroResSTL.com.
Brought to you by Staples.
Staples has hundreds of great ways to boost your brand, like spectacular signs, brilliant brochures, eye-popping posters, mouth-watering menus, and more. Shop now through April 18th and save up to $125 on all your custom prints. Staples, that was easy.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And Doug. There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means playing in a football game. Boom! 42! You're going down, Doug! Oh, yeah? Your price on car insurance when you customize and save is going down. Hey! Limu? What are you doing on their team? Only pay for what you need at LibertyMutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Love it when the playoffs roll around, especially in the NBA. And right now, FanDuel is serving up a happy hour every day during the playoffs. We are talking special drops you are not going to want to miss, from profit boosts to bonus bets and more. The best part, it happens every single day during the playoffs. So whether you're betting the early game or you're gearing up for prime time, just make sure to open the FanDuel app. It's very easy to use. It's intuitive, and you can see what's waiting for you today. Just go to FanDuel.com/Missouri to get started. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Tonight,
the Cards, the Pirates.
Ameren Total Access 445. First pitch 540.
Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Welcome back, guys. DGS on KMOX. Weird show, obviously, because not just earlier in the afternoon, but for, going back to Thursday, we've been hearing about the weather and, hey, look at Monday. And then over the weekend, all the local meteorologists had it in red and, and so KMOX being KMOX, this is what we do. This is when we really step up, right? And so we have Dave Murray literally in his studio, just waiting to go on with me or with Michael Calhoun if we should need to go into storm mode. Right now, I'm looking at all the different radars on television, and it just kind of looks like if you're North Grafton, those kind of areas, you're kind of going through it right now. It's sunny, beautiful downtown. Hopefully it stays that way. But whether it does or not, Dave and Michael will be with you throughout the night. If you want to listen to Cardinals baseball, the pregame is at 4:40. The game from Pittsburgh is at 5:40. That's going to go off regardless on 104.1 FM. And if there is severe weather, you can tune into 11:20 a.m. And Dave and Michael will have you throughout the night. There you go.
Sounds good.
There you go. Tell you guys about the Gelman team, and you get it. You friggin' get it, right? You know what a realtor is. You know the difference between someone who sells 3 houses a year as a side hustle and just likes to play golf with clients and write it off, and someone who this is what they do. For the Gelmans, it's more than what they do. It's to the point of obsession. And I say that lovingly. I love both the Gelman brothers, done a lot of stuff with them outside of the show, helped to raise money for people. They're very community-minded. They're really good people, I can tell you that. but they're hard chargers. I need a hard charger. I'm not a hard charger. I'm not good at representing myself. I'm way too passive. I'm not good at negotiating. That was a problem when I was a lawyer. I just wanted to work things out. I was never like a, hey, start high and go low. The Gelmans are great at negotiating. They know everything there is to know about your property you're looking at, your property that you're selling. So if you want to sell your house in the least amount of time for the most amount of money with the least amount of BS on your part, it's the Gelman. To find out what your house is worth right now, go to the front page of thegelmanteam.com, put in your address, and we'll tell you. 314-336-1991.
Certain restrictions apply.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who